It was a disaster. Okay. Oh man, Kages. It seems like it's stabilizing from my perspective. Um, is that actually true? It's hard to say. Isn't there? I thought there was like a fancy pants little like statistics thing. What happened to it in the Twitch dashboard? It's weird because it's saying poor network detection. I wonder if I should switch to where's the music, by the way? I downloaded some RAM and I downloaded a car. And neither of them, I mean, I couldn't figure out how to make it work. Maybe you can um, maybe you can help. This tea looks like it's like blood. Or I mean, it's a beautiful color. It's a blood color. Let's switch to the tea cam. You see the? Did I just spill some on the desk? I did. Sorry. That's a problem. So, oh gosh, what an embarrassment. Just spilled tea all over my. Do I have a tissue nearby? Sometimes I inexplicably have a like paper towel in my pocket that I'll just put there while I'm doing something, and then I'll just find a paper towel. I appear to have nothing with which to clean this up. How about I have a letter from the IRS. Just clean this up. It's just. There we go. That's good. That'll do. Does the stream seem okay? It still says unstable connection, but I don't know how long it takes for that to not say that. Didn't there used to be like a better stream health thing? What about tea time? Do you want to come over for tea? I thought there was a better little stream health window. Today I made a pretty obscene. I should have posted a picture on the Discord because it was just an embarrassment, but it seems like something you monsters would have liked. I made those Arby's chips, as you would say. The curly chips. Man, I got tea everywhere. What do you call the liquid that you drink? Do you also call that tea? And I made a Impossible Burger. Okay, I mean, Twitch says. Okay, Terrier, how's the video seem? Does it seem okay? Like, from a local streaming standpoint, things seem okay. I'm gonna touch my nose. I seem okay. God, you seem okay to me too. Gosh, thanks, Cherry Tarts. Shucks. Okay. Here's my current opinion of most things. I hate everything. I have a real problem. I gotta find some work, but I don't want to also. So it's a challenge. But here's what I know. That the only thing I like, I think, is Sudoku. I made a giant Impossible Burger with like too many mushrooms on it and too many onions on it, and it was just spilling everywhere. It was the only term I can think to describe it is burlesque. Burgerlesque. That's my new burlesque. I mean, it's right there in the name. You get it. Influent German. I can't even. I have some German family, and I studied German in high school, but I don't even think I could fake it enough now to even make a joke about a single sentence of fluent German. It would only be, the joke would be only about how bad it is. Anyway, speaking of German, speaking of Deutsch and Deutschland, we're going to go to Logic Masters Deutschland now. Let's just go now. I want to do a willpower puzzle. Like my current favorite constructor. What's happened here? There we go. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Well, okay, let's do it. So every willpower puzzle I've done has been amazing. Ignore this puzzle because this puzzle's my enemy. First, let me log in because obviously I want to be able to track my progress. Terrier darts is good. They don't call him Terrier darts for nothing. I'll tell you that right now. It's because he's good at Sudoku. I don't know why. Logic. What is, I don't understand your. I like 1Password quite a bit, but there is some weirdness. You better help me. Is it bedtime? Wait, I thought it was tea time. It's probably quite late there. Okay. Here's what I want. I want to go to the puzzle portal. I want puzzles. I feel like this site, there's room for improvement, let's say. I just want puzzles by willpower. I don't know if there's a way to do that easily, to see like I just want to see the puzzles I've done. List management. Like, it seems lame that there's not just a way to see all the puzzles I've done. Anyway, we're going to go to willpower, published puzzles. We're going to look for a good, let's go a little deeper in. What we want is a very high rating that is easy. Okay, how about this? Wine Scotch Martini. Oh, this is adorable. Oh my gosh, it's 3 a.m. Terrier. On a school night? Okay, I love all these rules. Oh wait, I thought this was going to be an entropic line. It's not an entropic line. Draklin, are we going to do this one? So I love Renbands. I feel like Renbands might be my favorite variant. The palindrome line is interesting. The red and gray lines have no effect on the puzzle. What? The red and gray lines have no effect on the puzzle. Well, I kind of don't like that. Numbers with an X between them, etc., etc., etc. Okay. I think that, that's a disappointment, honestly. That's a little bit of a disappointment. You don't need an account. I will put the link in the chat. Does this one seem like the one we want to do? So Terrier, wait, what was your mistake? The only mistake I saw in the screenshot you showed was you had a 4 on the lower right fish in a low polarity cell that could see 3, really, I guess 2 in its box. So you knew that would have been a 2. Maybe there was another error that I didn't spot. Sorry if I didn't spot it. But that was the only thing that I saw, is that you should have been able to just immediately place a 2 there based on the last screenshot you showed me. Okay. I have to say I'm a little disappointed. It has a high rating. Let's do this one. I feel like we're going to breeze through it. I actually haven't done a palindrome puzzle, but this means not only is this a palindrome, it means all of these are sequential. And I have a good feeling about these Kropke dots because we already know something about the nature of this little world. I like what it looks like is like he was trying to do something with the red line and then it didn't work, so he had to settle for a bunch of X's. And I wonder. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm just okay. Sorry, Terry. I feel like I wasn't very helpful. I was just trying to look at those screenshots on my phone, and I think I was a poor coach. I apologize. Okay, let's do this one. So, Draklin, if you want to give it a shot. Wait, I can't. That was a very long link. Wait, is there a tiny URL link? Or does it just... Okay. There's lots of things in the Sudoku world that I see room for improvement, and maybe that's where I should make my money, because I think there's a lot of things with how this site works versus the app and all of those things that... For one, I think there needs to be like some kind of like canonical Sudoku hash. Wait, that took you to a different puzzle? That tiny URL... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, Draklin. It's this one. Copy link address. Definitely don't try that puzzle. I mean, do, but it's a kick in the pants. Okay. Is everybody ready? I've just been waiting for this for hours. Not this puzzle specifically, because I'm disappointed in this red line. Anyway. So, what's the entry point to this puzzle? Draklin, are you going to do this while listening to me? Because I'm going to talk a lot. Am I going to spoil this for you? Okay, so let's just read through the rules, make sure we know. Green lines are 5 apart from their neighbors on the line. So that's a German whisper. The orange line are a palindrome. So there's going to be like, it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or something, but there's more numbers than that. In fact, I think that means it doesn't hinge, right? So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it doesn't like hinge on a single number in the middle. The solver must determine where it starts and ends. The red line has no effect, which is sad. It's sad. The numbers with an X between them sum to 10, so those are easy. Black dot is a 2-to-1 ratio, so this is always either 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, or 3, 6 are the only digits that can go on black dots, because those are the only digits between 1 and 9 that can go on in a Sudoku grid. So that doesn't mean we instantly know these, because all of these are on black dots. So the only numbers that can't be on a black dot ever, because these are every other black dot, black dot, black dot. The only numbers that can never be on a black dot are 5, because you can't have 10 in a Sudoku, and 9, because it's not divisible by 2, and 7, because it's not divisible by 2. So only numbers that are divisible by 2, or the divisor also with the 3, 6. Oh, okay. Sorry, Terry. I feel like I may have misguided you. Okay, so that is one entry point into this puzzle that you could choose, that I can see. Numbers, white dot are just consecutive, so that's going to be easy. And numbers with a, sorry, not all parts. So that's all the rules, I think. So there are 3 tricks that are good to know about a German whisper. One is that you can never have a 5 on a German whisper. 2 is that the numbers 4 and 6 are very constrained, because like you couldn't have a 4 here because they have to be 5 apart from their neighbor. And this one cell, in fact, you can't even have a 3 here. You can, but only in a very specific configuration. You can only have a 3 here if this was like 9, 8, 9. But you could never have a 4 here because you end up with a 9 and a 9 and a 9, right? So that's one of the things. Those are the two rules. First, no 5s. Also, 4 and 6 are hard. And then the third rule is that you can't have 5 on it, but each digit in the series along the line, because you're jumping up and down by 5, always goes high low. So one thing we know immediately is we call that the polarity of it, even though it's kind of a weird way, but it's above and below 5. So one, we can see here, this V means these sum to 5, so there can never be something above 5, and there can never be 5. So we instantly know this is a low digit, or in other words, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so that's going to determine the polarity for the whole German whisper, because that means this is going to be high, low, high, low, high, low. It's kind of weird the way that connects. High, and then it would be back to low. So those will be all below 5, and then you know that this is going to be high, low, high. That's also low, high. It's kind of a weird configuration because it's not a checkerboard. And then that's also going to be a high. Oh yeah, and this is also high. So the shape of this is interesting because it makes stripes instead of a checkerboard, which you might expect. Okay, so that is all very exciting. We've already said a few things about this, like this can't be a 4 or a 3. And the reason is, if it's a 4, to be 5 apart, you have to have 9, 9, 9. If it's a 3, you could have a mixture of 8s and 9s, but 3 can't go with a 7. And this particular configuration requires at the maximum value, this could be like 7, 8s, and 9s in here. We don't know that. Maybe it's a 6, but at most it could be 7, 8, and 9. And the lowest of those is 7. And so to stay 5 away from all of these, this can only be a 1 or a 2. This is constrained just by the 4. So you can't have, you obviously can't have 2 9s there. So this is only a 1, 2, or a 3. This one is kind of interesting because it does see 3, but they don't see each other necessarily. So I think it can be a 3. But and this one, for example, sees 2, but they wouldn't see each other. So this could be a 4 because both of those could be 9. But we can say here that this one can't be a 4 because those would both be 9s. This is only 1, 2, or 3, which has implications for this V, right? Because if there's no 1 here, there can't be a 4 on this side. So we thought maybe there could be a 4 here. I'm sorry, but there's no 4 here, so there can't be a 1 on this side. There could be a 4. A 4 would be possible here. And then 2 and 3 are always a pair if it's a 5, and 1 and 4 are always a pair. So in this case, this side is maybe the 4 if it's a 1, 4. Otherwise, it's a 2, 3 with another 2, 3. That's interesting because if there's no possibility for a 1 here, if this can never be 1, which I think we've just proved, right? There's no 4, so there's no 1. I'm probably gonna make mistakes because I'm talking through this quickly. 6s can only go next to a 1. So that means that neither of these can be 6 because this would have to be a 1. Even if we have a 1 here, there's a 6 here. This couldn't be a 6 anyway because these two do see each other. So I think that means that these are only 7, 8, or 9. Is there anything else we know? Well, again, we know this is not a 6 because it would be double 1s. So this is 7, 8, or 9. This one is not very This doesn't really have any restrictions. This one does, because these two digits do see each other. So again, if we put a 6 here to be 5 apart, this would have to be 1, and this would have to be 1. And even though this is in a different box, it still sees this one. So this is 7, 8, and 9. So like 6s are pretty restricted on this fellow. But I'm not. That does give us a 7, 8, 9 triple. That's interesting. Is that really true? Let me double check that. You can't have a 6 here because that would be double 1. You can't have a 6 here because that would be double 1. You can't have a 6 here because that would be double 1. So we already have a 7, 8, 9 triple, which is potentially interesting. It's I'm just thinking about the implications of that given the digits that we know are not in here. So in that, the main digit in that case, I think is a 5, or that's the one that's jumping out to me. Because the first thing we said was you could not have a 5 anywhere in here, right? It's just not allowed. 5's not allowed on a 10 anyway, but 5 has nothing to go with on this black dot or this black dot or this black dot. So in this particular row, 5 is totally ruled out of there, and we just said what is here, and none of those are a 5. So I think our first digit is a 5. And Terrier Darts likes for those to be green, and I don't disagree. Of the digits that are actually left to us now, we have 2 more low digits that we could have. We only have 1 more high digit, but we don't really know the configuration of the low digits. There's definitely a 4 here, and there's definitely a 6 here. And then there's some other number that's 1, 2, or 3. And I don't immediately see, I mean, you can definitely see that there's pressure on that because of these black dots. But this isn't like a triple black dot in sequence, so it's not as much pressure. It was like if this was a black dot and this was a black dot, you would know there couldn't be a 6 or a 3 in there, and so you'd have opinions about the 6. Anyway, I don't see it immediately. I do see that this white crocky dot means that this is sequential, and so for this to be sequential, it has to be high. If there was a 6 here, this could be 5, but that's not the case. And for sequentialness, it's 6, 7, 8, but it is still 9, because the 8 could be next to the 9. So you're gonna have to bookend the range, which is not very useful, but at least it gets us the polarity of that. The gray line means nothing, which is so weird. I've kind of like mixed opinions on that. The like purely decorative. We did that palm tree one. But I don't know, because I was about to say like, oh, interesting. The 5, 7, 9 here, or really I should say, no, I think it may be fair to say about the 9. But anyway, the obvious thing would be like, oh, there's a 5 here and a 5 here, so the 5 is on this gray line, but the gray line means nothing. So it doesn't. So who cares? Like who? I don't know that it is useful to know that it is possible to have a 5 on that gray line.
Broken parts inside of ourselves.
So this is some combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which are all valid black dot things, as long as it's like 6, 3 or 6, 3.
It is a state of mind which you
I mean, we've definitely said the 6 is over here for sure, though, right?
This all comes from an understanding that ideas aren't static, but fluid.
So that's a little bit interesting. I mean, just because we know 6 has to go with a 3. But I think you can still have the 3 up here. So I don't think it like forces this. So I don't know, for whatever it's worth, we do know a 6 is in here. And then there's definitely a 4 in here. So this is 6, 4, and a low digit. But I don't know. I feel like maybe this isn't what we're really supposed to be looking at. This is crazy. Because there's definitely a palindrome going on here that we decided is not going to just hinge like it is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why can't I count this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's weird. I thought we said it couldn't hinge. Did I say that wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it would hinge at the other end. So it does hinge. We just don't know which end it hinges at. Which actually, for a palindrome, I guess it does have to hinge at the ends. I don't know. That's kind of weird on a like a circular palindrome. It has to. No, I'm sorry, not hinge. It can't hinge at the ends. It has to reflect at that point. So that's sort of weird, right? I mean, I guess it's like, it says you don't know where it starts or ends, but like, I'm a little confused by that. Anyway, we do know at least that there's a major, like, this is a sequence. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just given that it goes that high, so it could also be like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. But you heard there's definitely a 5 in here, right? Because these are sequential. I don't know if that matters yet. Anyway, is there anything else we can do? Because I'm like, a thing that is just interesting is that all the low digits and 4 and 6 are spoken for down here. Well, I do know there's an 8 up here, right? Because we have 7, 8, and 9. So none of those are allowed there. 8's not allowed up here. We could have an 8 up here, but I don't really see the restriction. Oh, I do. Maybe. Okay, if that's true, that might be a little tricky, or like a tricky thing to see. So I think we said the 8's up here, right? We said, oh, and Chris, how's it going? Disclaimer for anyone watching, I'm not actually good at this. I just really like it, and I'm really getting into variant Sudoku over the last week, but definitely don't expect real skill here. But I think there's something clever here, maybe, where we've said that in row 3, we've already used up 8, right? It's definitely, we don't know where it is, but it's over here somewhere. So 8 is definitely not here. But we've also said it is a requirement that 8 is down here because the non-black crop key dot compatible digits are already up here. So that means there's an 8 here. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad idea. Oh, okay, good. We're both rookies. Okay, if this is right, I'm gonna feel smart. And this is a willpower puzzle, by the way. And I will say, if you are just getting into variant Sudoku, I think it is worth looking at willpower puzzles, because I think they tend to have really clever interplay, like in the rules, and they're just kind of fun and silly in their presentation. But they do occasionally, I feel like each puzzle has a few moments of like, of challenging logic. So it's not just like that you're following the rules. I may be wrong, but here's what I think this means. We know there's a 6 here. We've established that there's a 6 down here. It's either right here or it's right here. Wherever that 6 goes, it's on a black crop key dot, which means it has to pair with a 3. I explained earlier that it could be here, and that would be fine, but we didn't know it was here as a 3, 6, because it could be here with the 6 and the 3, and then the 3 is still over here. But what I think this is going to tell us is that it's not possible to have a 3 up here. But let me just think through it for a second. Like, obviously, if this is an 8, 8 is not 3. If this is an 8, this has to sum to 10, so this is only 2. And 2 is not 3. If this is an 8, this ratio says this is a 4. Oh, well, we know that can't be. This can't be an 8. You can just see that because 8 is required to be next to 4. And on an X, a 4 is required to be next to a 6. And we said it's not possible here. So let me just well, that's. Is it fair to fully rule 8 out of this cell? I think it is, because it would be 8, 4, 6, and 6 cannot be up here. So I don't think this can never be an 8, actually, I think. Yeah, I think that is a way to look at it. I'm just working towards that of why, because you could maybe have imagined 6, 3. It was just before I knew the 8 was up here, I didn't know this limitation. But anyway, there's an 8 either here or here. I think we can all agree that the 8 can't be here because an 8, 4, 6 is forced. But I think that this can be an 8. We know always goes with a 2. So I think it's fair to say that this is an 8-2 pair. So we've and 2 and 8 on a black dot. 2's a little lame because it has 2 options. So 2 can go with 1 or 4 because they're both in a 1-2 ratio. And then 8 can only go with 4. So actually, weirdly, even though there's 3 options here, we only get 2 pencil marks. So, and actually, you know what? We said there's a 4 here already. There's definitely a 4 down here because it's required. So that does just give us the 1, which gives us the 2, which gives us the 8. And now this 8 is in a 2-to-1 relationship, and 8s can only be next to 4s on black Kropke dots. And then the last thing we have to place, we know there's a 6 here, and we know the only digit we have available in this box is the 3. So we do get a 3-6 pair here, and that's going to knock the 3 out of these, which is very exciting. And by knocking the 3 out of this, we also knock the 2 out of this. Is that a true statement? We've knocked the 3 out of both. Oops, shoot. Does that not work? Can you redo? Okay, sorry, I'm still learning the shortcuts. We just knocked a 3 out of this. So by having no 3 here, we can't make 5 with this 2 anymore. So we're going to remove this 2. And now this is a 3 or a 4. And 3s are required to be on a German whisper. You know, you have to have the distance of 5. So 7 is not valid because 3 to 7 is only 4. So that knocks 7 out of both of these. And so now we get a weird offset 8-9 pair. Yeah, weirdly, gray line has no rules, which is the only thing I kind of don't like. And actually, the red line has no rules, which is even weirder. That really makes me think. Like sometimes he has notes on Logic Masters Germany. Willpower puzzles are really funny because he does lots of them that are like paintings. Let's see, where can I find that? Did I put the Logic Masters link in? I think I didn't, unfortunately. Maybe I just have it. Where was the... he has lots of very funny puzzles that are... oops, wrong one. Like, he'll have a painting where he will try to recreate a painting. Let's see. Like this. Or like, in this case, a sculpture. There's a pretty funny one though, the Gothic. He did an American Gothic one where he like drew American Gothic. So they're very funny, but it does mean I think this one actually I think there are rules on all of these. Maybe that's not true. Blue and pink circles have no effect. So he does do aesthetic things sometimes. Okay, sorry. So, excuse me, Draclin. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. Let's keep going. Okay. I like it. I mean, some of the like really intense ones I'm not so crazy about, but he has like nice ones with like I really enjoyed this one a lot. This fish puzzle I really thought was good. Okay, I'm sorry, Draclin. Excuse me. Okay. What I was, let me just finish the thought I was saying, is we've removed 7 from here, and because we've removed 7 from here, we can remove 6 from here. And now we can get back to over here. So this 4 can be in sequence. It's so weird that there's no, I keep looking at the red line thinking like, wait, what are the rules for the red line? Because it almost looks like a rim band where you have to have a non-consecutive sequence, a consecutive sequence, but not necessarily in order. Anyway, 4 is going to be next to either a 3 or a 5. But you know that 5s can't be on X clues, so that just is a 3. So that just is a 7. So this just is 8 or a 9. This 3 knocks the 3 off of here, so you get a 4. And we know that 4s can only go next to 9s on German Whispers. I love German Whispers because they have lots of restrictions. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been there multiple times. I'm sorry, did I say something wrong? Wait. I'm sorry. 6 or 8. Thank you, Draclin. It's hard to actually, it turns out it's hard to think and stream at the same time, as I've proved many times. Sorry, 7 is 6 or 8, not 8 or 9. We do, thank you for spotting that. I would have been sad, probably would have been sad in 10 minutes. Now we've knocked the 3 off of here. That means this 4 does go with the 1. This is a 4, by the way. So this is a 1, so this is a 2, so this is a 1. So that's all very fun. This 4, we have already said that these have to be 9s. That knocks 9s out of the all over the place. 9's out of here. 9 is sequential with 8, it turns out. We have a 7-9 pair here. We have a 6-3 pair here. So we did knock a 7 off of that. I don't think we care very much. I'm sorry, how did I figure this 5? This 5 right here? Because 5s can never be on a German Whisper because the digits have to be separated by 5. So you can immediately just roll 5 out of all of these, right? 5s can also never be on crop key dots, black crop key dots, because this is a 2-to-1 ratio, and so 5s don't work. So we also rolled 5 out of here. So it was basically just I rolled 5 out of here and rolled 5 out of all of these. So in row 3, that was the only place you could even find that a 5 had a home. But in fact, it rolled out a lot more because everything down here is on a crop key dot. So that pushed there's only 3 digits that can't be on a crop key dot because they don't have a 2-to-1 relationship with anything. So it pushed all of those here. And that's how I also know there's a 5 over here. Yeah, there are puzzles. I did do a puzzle that would allow for black on a crop key dot because it was a Mobius puzzle. And that meant that 1s wrapped around to be 10. And so you could have a 5. You could also do doublers. That's true. Yeah. So sometimes there's rules that make these general rules of thumb. Like you just couldn't, there's the general rule of thumb about German Whispers. There's a general rule of thumb about these kinds of sum or sequence digits. But yeah, there can certainly be other rules that break all of those. So anyway, I feel like we were doing well for a minute. This 7-8 means this is only 6 or I'm sorry, that's a 9 and an 8. I'm having some kind of brain problem. That's a 9 or an 8, so that's a 6 or a 7, but it sees a 7. So that is a 6. It's next to a 1, so that's all fine. So it doesn't appear we've broken anything yet, which is encouraging. That 6 fixes this 8, which it turns out 8 is sequential. It's funny because I might have pencil marked that wrong and still actually gotten everything right, which would have been a minor miracle. That even by making a pencil mark mistake, that it still would have worked out okay. The red line means nothing. Surely you could have like come up with a way to make the red line means. I'm sure he agonized over that of like, wait, is there some pattern here? But anyway. Okay, have we exhausted anything useful? I think we kind of have. I mean, just trying to see if there's anything else related to polarity or anything, or like the locations of, well, we did knock 9 out of here, didn't we? We know 9's up here. So I don't know if it's that useful, but the 9 is down here. And it's not here. So 9 is in one of these two cells. Wait, can I? Probably. Okay, so 1 rules. Can I? How do I do that? 1 is ruled out of there. 1 is ruled out of there. Oh, that's clever. 1 would have to be in sequence with a 2. So okay, that's fairly obvious, but 1, basically 1 can't be anywhere in here because it's not on the 2 is devoured, and we've used our 1 over here as well. So yes, that was a good point. Thank you. Thanks for spotting that. That is a cool, what is the cool shortcut, or the color shortcut? Okay, that is just a 1. So we have all these 1s, and that's very exciting. I'm gonna color these just because I feel weird once we've started coloring to not color anymore. So forgive me when I like go back and color things all the time. There's a green up here. Okay, so, that does plop 8 up here, right? No, it doesn't. 8's right there. Sorry. It plops 8 up here. I don't know if we really want to... I feel like we don't need to be... I think you're right. I mean, I could like bang my head against Sudoku, but I don't think that's the point. I think the point is, like, we're being drawn down here. So one of the things we did decide that was just a fun little thing is that, let me make sure I think this is true. If this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, there's definitely a 5 in the sequence. That doesn't mean there's only 1 5 on the palindrome, though, weirdly, because even though we, the palindrome, well, okay, I guess like a couple things we can say. We know there's a 5 somewhere in here. There could possibly be a 5 here, but it does mean that the palindrome, like if we're looking for where the palindrome divide is, it doesn't divide here. It obviously, the repeat point of the palindrome would be hard. It couldn't happen in the middle of the sequence. It could happen at the end of the sequence, though, right? No, I don't think so. I mean, like, the ends of your palindrome. I'm a little not clear about that, though. Like, yeah, I know. I know. It's a weird thing. The grays I could forgive as being purely stylistic, but I feel like the red. Oh, wait, sorry. Where were you looking, Jacqueline? 941. Yeah, it's it's a thing you got to think about where it's like, it's not a requirement. The pressure is only from one side, basically. So it's not that 9s always have to have 4s next to them, but it's that 4s always have to have 9s next to them. So that's not, if that's what you're looking at, I think that's, so it's fine that these are 8 apart. It's fine. It's just a minimum of 5. Row 3, column 7. This one, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. This is, if you can kind of think of these about like what it's looking at. Yeah, it can see this, and it can see this, and it can see this. But that's why it can be 7 or 8, because it's, yeah, it's kind of like, it's almost like where it can see. It is a little weird when you have these little like merging lines on your German Whisper. The 6, this can't see this 6. Yeah, which is why it's a little weird. You know, we talked about polarity alternates. Like you can see polarity alternates, which is like a very key thing to being able to solve a German Whisper. But the reason we have a stripe here is because it's almost like this is a grid that got skewed sideways, because the connections are kind of all on the diagonal instead of on the vertical. I wonder if you even could make a German Whisper that was purely a grid. There's probably some puzzle that experiments with that, because some of those rules don't quite apply if things are shifted. Like the rule, you know, you can never have a 5. You usually can't have a 4 because it requires a double 9. But in this case, these 9s don't see each other. So, okay, sorry. We were thinking about the palindrome. I don't actually have any like exciting rules of thumb for a palindrome. I guess in just the thing I don't actually understand about the palindrome though is there's one reflection point, but is it required that there's 2 reflection points? Do you know that, Owen? Like Owen Chris, if I can call you Owen. In other words, like, does the palindrome just have to read kind of front to back the way you would normally expect a palindrome? Owen J. Christ? Owen Jackson, Jasper, Owen Jasper, Christopherson? Because you could imagine a palindrome rule requiring a loop. And this is drawn like a loop. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Numbers on the orange line are a palindrome. The solver must determine where the palindrome starts and ends. Is the question I'm asking, does that make sense? I guess it just implicitly is. Maybe that's not even a valid question, just because the nature of a palindrome means both ends are the same number, right? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to like logic through and try to decide like, oh, does it matter where the seam is? Okay, so maybe if I like illustrate this, it will make sense, because there's some kind of asymmetry here, right? Because there's not an even number of digits on this line. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Okay, all right, Drachman, I'll look at that in 1 second. I just want to carry through this thought. Okay, put the trash can out. So, okay, just to illustrate this thought, we know there's like okay, I guess this is what it has to mean. If we picked this, for example, and then we're just going to put a bunch of wrong numbers in here. if this was, or actually let's pick this for example, because this would be a cool place for it to be true, for the seam to happen. If this was a 1, we know that like the root of the palindrome is a single number. So in other words, the palindrome doesn't start here, like on a seam, because I don't think it can. Because then it doesn't really end. But okay, you know what? But that's funny because that essentially just means like, oh, if it starts on a seam, then really the palindrome is here, and that's the seam. So I guess that's kind of the point. Is you can there's going to be we're going to have this basically. We're going to have there's a point on this line where the same digit is next to itself, and I can only see one point on this line that allows for that, right? Like, because this is an asymmetrical palindrome, or however you want to think about it, there's going to be a repeated digit right next to itself at the end of the palindrome. And I think that can only be right here. I think. Like, I don't see another place where you could have the same digit twice in a row. And I think that's the reason for the silly zigzag. I mean, it seems very intentional, obviously. So let's just say that one side of the palindrome is blue and one side of the palindrome is green. We're then going to follow it around. Oops. And then this is kind of our root. Like, this is the root of the palindrome. Does that seem fair to say? That it feels like a requirement to me, knowing that this palindrome ends with a repeated digit. I think this is the correct palindrome arrangement, and that means these two digits are the same, and these two digits are the same, and these two digits are the same, and these two are the same, and these are the same. In fact, I want to color it like that because I think it will be fun. And I always want excuses to color things. It might look terrible. No, it looks like a fun dance floor is what it looks like. Okay, so that's exciting. What do we know about this? We know there's a 5 on it somewhere. We know some things about it, like there's no 1 or 4 here. Like, some things are ruled out, but actually this coloring is terrible, by the way, because we already used some of these colors for parody. Wish I could make it just like a gradient. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna undo it. And I'm not gonna use green because we use green for 5s. Whatever, we'll do that. Boring. Okay, so wait, you like the alternating colors? I you know, we already have a meaning for those two colors, so I'm hesitant to use them. I don't know what color to use. Let's use red. Okay, Draclin, sorry, you were asking about the order of this. Oh, okay. I don't think the directionality is enforced. As long as they're in a ratio of 2 to 1. Are you asking, like, do they have to be in 2 to 1 versus 1 to 2? Yeah, I don't. That's just a description of the ratio, not the order of the ratio, as far as I understand it. Yeah, it's not. I can see how you might read that. But it is the I don't think the order is forced, and I don't think I've ever seen it forced. So, okay. So I think we have our palindrome division, and we know what the root of the palindrome is. And The root is under some pressure. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, there's probably very obvious thing. I don't actually know any rules of thumb for palindrome, so I'm kind of just going from first principles. So forgive me if I'm going slowly. I think there's going to be some it'd be nice to force a number onto this line. Is what I would like to do. But yeah, I wish this was a line. I wish this was a thermometer or something, or like an arrow or something. Just because as soon as we get any numbers down here, we can start to have some pressure on these cells. But there's a little bit of pressure here, and there's a little bit of pressure here, like on this sequence and on this sequence. But so sorry, I want a moment to sort of think about if there's some other things I'm not appreciating. Oh, well, there's a very obvious thing that I'm not appreciating, is the 8. Because that feels like that will have wide-reaching implications. Will it not? So these cells are all seen by this 8. These are all seen by this 8. That plops an 8 on our palindrome. But we have to be careful about that. And like the direction in which it moves. What do I want? I want this. Like, if this was an 8, we'd have problems. So I don't think this can be an 8 because I'm trying to see if is there some trick of like wrapping around the corner, but just pretend this is an 8 and then this is either a 7 or a 9. One of these is forced to be a 9 because we know it's a sequence, right? Wherever the 9 is, the following digit is broken. So I don't think it matters which way you go. If you put a 9 here, 8, 9, what? So I think we can roll 8 out of here. That seemed fair to say. I think you can have an 8 here. Oh, okay, sorry. I should look at that. The low-hanging fruit. Sorry, you're saying there is low-hanging fruit in box 3. There is some low-hanging fruit. Well, okay. You can see that 6. Okay, I see. If you think about like what we have left to place and where it can go, we've already said 5s and 9s are kind of like stuck here in the middle. There's not a 6 here. So 6 is ruled out of there. So that also puts 6 in this little land. But given the 5 and the 9, and then where the sort of the relationship of the 8 would be, I'm trying to think of if there's another variation of this. Well, okay, so you can think about it like this. Clearly, there's no 6 here, so there's not a 5 here, right? So the 5 is just ruled out of here immediately. Because 6 either needs to be with 5 or 7, and the 7 is already spoken for. I'm sorry, 5 needs to be... No, wait a minute, though. Why couldn't that be... Sorry, is that true? I'm sorry. My brain is still in this mode, and now I feel like I maybe shouldn't have switched back over here. But I do want to see it. Sorry, 5 could be with a 4, but not a 6. Where can 4 be over here? Anywhere it wants? Okay, I can see chat happening, but I don't want to look. I just want to think about it for a second. I mean, this is a weird pencil mark, but like, I don't even want to make it because it's such a weird pencil mark. I'm sorry, I just kind of feel like I'm not seeing it. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. One obvious thing is that 9 is not on here because 9 would have to be an 8. So I'm looking at 5s, but 9 is not on. So 9 is not anywhere in here. We should have known that already. Okay. Sorry. That 9. That's funny because I somehow ruled it out of this one. How did I? Oh, just because of that 9. I see. Okay. Okay. I apologize. So that seems to say, because 8 is already spoken for down here, which is what I just said, that 9 is over here. And it's a nice warm digit. Okay. So now, 6 is rolled out of here. So there is a 6 in here somewhere. And 6 can't go with 7, so it has to go. The only thing that's available is 5. So that means this is. Yeah, sorry. Thanks for pointing me to this. I apologize for the very slow, understanding. Actually, I wish there was an easier way to get rid of the corner marks when you do center marks, which knocks that out. So now this pair is going to force whatever's left here. 3, 4, which are sequential, which is good news because it would be sad if they weren't. You know the order of any of these things? I don't think so, but that's low. Okay, thanks for pointing me there, Owen. Apologize for being slow on the uptake. Trying to quickly see if that means anything cool or interesting. Probably does. Oh, well, it does. Okay, I mean, why did I put a 5? I was just complaining about my corner marks that were telling me that the 5 had to be there. Good grief. Okay. 5 is spoken for up here. This just is 5. Oh my gosh. I can't even like follow my own pencil marks. Okay, that's high. That's medium. I don't know if that does anything tremendously interesting. Maybe it does. Because the 4 orientation. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, I mean, I do it more than time to time. I do it a lot. So, okay, I definitely, like, it's fine to just point to the region. I feel like I'll eventually get it if you just, so what some people have been doing is just, like, throw tomatoes. If you click the screen, you can throw a tomato in the general region. How long have I Sudoku'd? Like, as far as, like, doing variant Sudokus? I started on Friday, but I've watched Cracking the Cryptic videos for probably close to 3 years. So it's a very strange thing. I don't even know exactly what to liken it to. It's like if you just watched hundreds of hours of somebody doing something, but never did it yourself, and then said like, well, I obviously understand everything. I know all the rules. Surely I can do this. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Can you ask if a number sequence is a palindrome or not? I don't know. It's going to spoil everything. Okay, sorry. We were thinking about 8s, and then I made a mockery of my own self up here. So, is that how you got into this too? Watching Cracking the Cryptic for too long? I don't know what finally... It's weird, because I just found Simon so comforting, especially early in the pandemic. It was like, I remember that Miracle Sudoku video as like almost the first joyful moment after, like, I don't know. Pandemic was difficult on everybody, of course. In the week of the pandemic starting, that's when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And like, so all of these, it was like an especially bad time. And I was stranded in Pittsburgh and I couldn't get medical care. I had my 40th birthday as the world was shutting down. Like, it was a crazy time. And I feel like that miracle Sudoku video of his was like the first time that I was like saw joy in the world. And so, wow. So you've been at it for some years too. Yeah. So the Draclin, I've probably told you to watch this before. Is this the one? Is this the miracle?
5 minutes and
yeah. Draclin, if you, maybe I've made whatever. Everybody should watch this repeatedly. So, what was the exact date of it? May 10th. So pretty early in the pandemic. Yeah. Okay, Draclin. Thanks for watching it. I make everybody watch it. It was like, I don't know. It was revelatory. It was just so nice to see something good in the world. You know, like just like positive, like somebody having a good time. Somebody. Oh, really? Wait, which one? Because there was, I think the one posted today, I was the first time that I was like, wait, when he says like, you know, do have a go. The way to play is by clicking the link below or whatever he says. So this one I started to watch, but then I was like, wait a minute, I think I can do this. So is it this one? Maybe I already watched it and was blown away by it. Let's see. I wish it told you like in the title. I guess it tells you on the title screen here, right? Is it this one? No, that's Kodak. That was a good one. That recent Fistamafel was crazy too. Sorry, maybe I'm not. This new one is really pretty interesting. It has like a different. Okay, I'll have to go back. I remember seeing what is the name of the constructor? Bafford. I can't actually remember if I watched it, but I've watched way too many Sudoku videos, but I am a bit behind. Anyway, because I've been doing Sudoku. Okay, let's just finish this puzzle because I've spent like 30 minutes just not even doing anything. Sorry. So what did we actually just done? We had ruled 8 out of here, right? Because it would be 8, 9 broken. Sorry. Okay. So we ruled 8 out of here. So then we felt fairly confident in saying that 8 was here. Not here. Sorry. If this, and it was broken either way, right? Because it'd be 8, 9 broken or 8, 9 broken. This is not broken though. This going this way would be broken, of course, but I think you could say 7, 8. Sorry, you could say 9. You could say 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. That seems valid. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So 8 there seems okay. 8 here, does that seem okay? Because that's just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, I need to redo that and actually pay attention to what numbers are ending up where, don't I? So let me try that again and actually pay attention to the crossings because I wasn't paying attention. So first we were talking about 9, which is fine. 9, 8, 7, 6. Seems okay. 5, 4. So at the moment, that 9 seems okay. Or it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Well, how about that? Right? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 is broken. Is that what you saw, Owen? Oh, is there another way to see it? Wait, you're saying the middle eight's broken? I thought I just said that the middle eight was going to work. Wait, are we seeing opposite? Are we seeing opposite things? Or are we seeing the same thing, but we're seeing it in different ways? No, I'm confused. I'm gonna go through that one more time. If I put a 9 here, which is what allows this 8, it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, which seems okay. But then it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, which is not okay. Is there? But you're saying there's another way to see that? Because the other thing I wasn't even considering is like digits, what digits could see each other, but that sees a 5 there. But you could maybe imagine like digits seeing themselves here. So like if this was 9, 8, that makes that 8 and 8. 7 and 7, 6 and 6, 5 and 5, 4 and 4. Does that? Well, you could never. That would be true for anything, though, right? Sorry, I'm not seeing. I'm sorry. I think I'm just not quite understanding. But I think we're both saying that this is a 9, and we're just seeing it in different ways. Like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Sorry, we're saying this is not a 9. Which is that I'm saying this is not a 9, and you're saying this is not an 8. But wait, I'm saying, what am I saying? I'm saying this is not 9. I'm saying this is an 8. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying this is an 8. Oh. Okay, interesting. Okay. So we're saying the same thing. We're just seeing it in different ways. That's cool. I didn't even see that, but that is a good observation. So you're seeing it not even using the palindrome. Like, I mean, another way to just back up and see this is we can place the 9 already, right? That we need a 9 in row 4. Oh, that just makes me sad. That makes me see, okay. I like my way of seeing it better because I saw it by virtue of the fact that the palindrome sees something illegal. You could, not even thinking about the palindrome. And this is what Owen is seeing, which is right. Wait, can't row 4, column 4. This is 9. That's what Owen's. Okay, so just to work through like the two ways to see it. The way I saw it was like this can't be 9 because it'd be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and we'd see the 5, right? So that was my way of saying that this is not 9, so this is 8. An alternate way of seeing it, which you can already know, like irrespective of the palindrome, is just look at row 4 and think about where 9 goes. Like we only have these options. This row is really restricted. 9's not here and 9's not here. So we already know there's a 9 here. And so without even thinking about the palindrome, I guess it was just my assumption is that the palindrome was going to like tell on itself. So I think I like my way better. This like a person who was a good solver probably would have already seen this and placed this and just would have instantly known, like, oh yeah, duh, you can't use a 9 here. I like my way because it makes the palindrome self-fulfilling. It doesn't need external it doesn't need external pressure. Anyway, that is a crazy digit to place. Well, we already knew that. We already knew where the split was, right? Oh, I'm sorry. The end of this sequence is not forced to be sequential, but I wasn't even thinking of that because like up to the point of the 5, isn't it? Or is that not true? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 is forced by the sequentialness. But you're right. This is something else. That is a different. I'm not even thinking about that necessarily. But am I wrong in saying that 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 does force this to be a 5? I think that still holds. But also, yes, the very easy way to see it. It's not even worth discussing anymore. It's fine that we saw it in different ways. Your way is probably the more like direct Sudoku-y way without looking for secrets somewhere. But I don't know. I like looking for secrets. So this does force the 7. And it does force the 6, and it does force the 5, and it does force the 4. Right? At least up to that point is forced. And then we know these two digits are the same digit. We just have to think about what they are. But I don't know. I mean, there's probably some obvious thing about what these are. I mean, there's lots of things they can't be, I guess, it's fair to say. Like this one is under especially under a lot of pressure, but it feels like it could be a 1, and it feels like it could be a 2, and it feels like it could be a 3, but not a 4 or 5, 6, or a 7 or 9. So it is 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, are we back to parity? Is that right? This can be 1, 2, or 3, but not 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, can it be 8? It can't be 8 because of that. Oops. That could be 1, 2, 3 on this side. Oh, sorry, I missed that 1. Missed the 1. Okay. At the moment, I don't see the resolution for that. I mean, this is going to untangle that, or this is going to untangle this. Remove the 5. Okay, well, that was all very exciting. So, what do we need? We need a 9 over here. What does this line need? It needs a 9 and a 1. So aren't those over here? Because 9 and 1 will not be here. I think that's fair to say. And the other things that it needs. So we have a 1, 9 pair. So we need. So these are. That's kind of surprising. So these are 2, 3, 4. And 2 is not available because it's seen. So then 2 can be sequential with 3. 3 can be sequential with 4. 4 can be sequential with 3. 3 can be sequential with 2 or 4. 4 can be with 3. Okay. I do keep thinking that the gray line is a thing. We have a 3-4 pair here. Looking right at you. So this 3-4. So Jacqueline, if you like 3-4 pair life is a major thing you have to just be on the lookout for. That means in this whole column, we've already used 3 and 4. We don't know the order. Sorry, a pair. But sometimes it'll be a triple. Like up here, we had a triple that put pressure somewhere. So I'm definitely not the best at spotting it. But this 3, 4 means this can't be 3 or 4. So this just is 2. And then we end up with a 3, 4 pair here. So that means this box is basically done. So the only things that are left in this box are 5 and 7. So that's going to be a 5, 7 pair. And there's a 7 looking here. So we can place the 5 and the 7. And we can make these all nice blue color. We can make these that a green color. Make this color. That 7 is going to finally untangle this 7, 8 pair. I'm surprised this has survived so long. But still persists. This is just a write-in. So what number have we not addressed here? It's also the number 2. The square goes in, square block goes in the square hole. Okay, I'm afraid to look at chat because I feel like I'm doing okay. I might be going slowly, but I feel like we're making some kind of process. This sees so many things. This sees thousands of digits. But still it can be a 1 or a 4? No, it can't be a 4. There's a 4 right there. I was confused because this wasn't cool. I was looking for coolness. So, could be a 1. It can't be a 2. The 3 is questionable. Maybe it could be a 3. Not a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, or a 9. Four, 5, 6, 7, 9. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 3 options, but maybe that's not as exciting, right? It could. Okay, I don't know why I'm fixated on this. It just looks like an inviting donut now. I think it could be a 1. It cannot be a 2. I think it could be a 3 depending on the nature of this. Can't be a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 7. I think at the moment it could be an 8. And it can't be a 9. So, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't worth pencil marking. So, who else is under, like, fun pressure? This, like this, we see hundreds of digits here. Surely we can figure out this digit, right? Again, it could be a 1. That does see a 2. It's not a 3 or 4 because of the pair. It's not a 5. It's not a 6. It's not a 7. Weirdly could be an 8. I didn't expect that, but I guess I should have. It can't be a 9. Probably should be like actually just looking at digits at this point and just trying to suss out where things are. Because I feel like for the most part we've exhausted the fun clues, right? And now we're just doing boring Sudoku, which nobody cares about, nobody wants to do. It's just so boring. Do I really not have a 3 placed on the whole grid? We got a bunch of 3 pairs, but that's kind of surprised by that. Okay, I know you're screaming. I'm choosing not to listen because I just want to see if I see anything interesting. But I kind of don't. I'm kind of not seeing anything I'm very interested in. Well, that's a 5, right? Because these 5s cut out this. It actually is messing me up to not have these the right color. I will say that. It's like making it harder for me to scan. So I'm going to go back and change these because this is the lamest excuse of all time. But I really rely on just scanning for like lows and highs is making it harder. These are all low. Okay. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay. What are we missing here? It's a 1 and an 8 and a 5. Oh, that's not 5. Well, that was not exciting. This is gonna be even less exciting without the pairs. We don't have the polarity of those. Okay, you must be very constrained. So you're a 1 and a 3. Just easier for me to see that this is a 1 and a 3 when I see the warm versus cool. These are 1-3s. And then that at least means that there's some pressure here to be, what, a 2, a 4, or a 6? I'm sure I'm missing very obvious things. I'm just gonna let you. Well, okay, we're about to get a 2-6 pair, so that's exciting, at least, right? So we're gonna remove the 4 from here. So we have a 2-6 pair now. So this just is a 4. I know it's taking that long to get another digit. I don't know what's wrong with me. What do we need here? 2, 3, 9. That sees both. Okay, we can start to unwind some things. Maybe this will help expedite the puzzle a little bit. No, of course not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 6, 7. And we know the order. Those are nice and toasty. 1, 2, that is a 4 and an 8. Do we know the order of those? Yes. Finally get some things. Oopsie, that's an 8. That's a 4. I'm sorry, Chad, I'm ignoring you. I'm sorry. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing it just to spite you. This is 1, 1. That's a 1, 2, 3 triple. Kind of like some weird. These are low. This is 1, 2, or 3, but I don't think it sees any of those. That is a 1, 3, 8. I mean, this stuff down here just sucks. Okay, I'm certain there's just like blindingly obvious things at this point. Like this. Like I'm not even using the clues. Okay, 2's no go next to 3's, go next to 4's. We have, that's all of our, like most of our useful clues. We still have this weirdo down here. But I'm kind of surprised that the puzzle is still kind of being a jerk. This has to be under some pressure, right? This guy? I mean, maybe not. Well, the 4 to 5. Okay, let's just do these. So it's 1, 2. Wait, that's the exact opposite. What I mixed up. Sorry, it's not 1. It is 2, 3, or 6. Oh, that's worse than I thought. What blindingly obvious thing am I missing that would make this so easy? Whatever it is, I'm just not seeing it. Sorry. All right, we have 1, 2, 3. We need 4, 7, and 9. This feels lame, though. Actually, it really does. Like when I find myself doing this, that's what I was looking for. Is somewhere that there was a meaningful crossing. I'm just bad at spotting that myself. Like you can definitely see, like we got a lot of stuff up here, and there's some information here. I thought that information was going to be here, just because there's more digits there, but it's there, and I'm just so bad at spotting that without some prompting. Okay, that gets a 9 over here, but I don't really care that much, do we? I don't know. I'm gonna color digits just to feel like I'm doing something with my life. Because I like it. Oh, we did get a 2-3 pair has emerged out of the mist. So this is 1, 8, and what? 9? Only the 8. Oh, we get a 1, 9 pair. That's cool. 1, 9 pairs are cool. Right? Did I do that correctly? I think so. Oops. Dang it. I was keeping in Control Shift Z will be a redo. Anyway, this 1, 9 pair sees this 9. Oh, that actually helps. Is that still... I was going to disambiguate it there, but it doesn't? Dang it. Don't do that. Sorry. This is not a 9. That actually... What? I really thought that was going to do something for me. Am I just going to end up pencil marking this whole thing? I know I missed... Okay, I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to look at chat, and you're going to tell me, like, you just missed the white dot. That was going to tell you everything. I mean, that does make this a 2 or an 8, right? And so where's the... There's the 8. It's up there. Okay. Now can we finish this puzzle? If that's a 2, and that's a 1... That's a 9, and that's a 6, and that's a 1. Wait, I want to turn off auto solve, by the way, or auto check. Don't like that. That gives us a 3 there. Right, it's palindrome. I was about to say like that. Why is that a 3? We get the true, the 3, get the 2, the 6, the 3. Okay, I think it's just unwinding now. Hopefully. There's still some things that are like a little more stubborn, like this 1, 5 pair, this 1, 8 pair, but hopefully these things will just... I don't know. If you're wondering why I'm using my mouse, I don't have a numpad. I'm strongly considering building a custom macro keyboard for Sudoku only. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that just our 5? What are you missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't been coloring, see, because I've got self-conscious about going so slow, and now I can't see anything. This is sad. This is a sad state of affairs. How am I supposed to see anything if I don't make everything pretty colors? Okay. Really, it's hard for me to scan without the colors. Actually, you know, I think especially the mix of colors makes it especially hard to scan. 8. Okay, I'm gonna color these. My 1s, my 3s, my 2s. How do you somehow color them first? Just so I can feel better about myself. And the puzzle will look nicer. Okay. Just a quick check. 2, 3, 9, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a 1, 2. There's a 7, 8. That is 10. That's a 4, 3. That is 10. That is a 2 to 1 ratio, 2 to 1 ratio. That ratio is good. Sequential, sequential. I feel pretty confident about our Rinban rules. Like 4 is only next to 9, 6 is only next to 1. I don't have like a 7, 3 or anything, so I think it's okay. Hope it's okay. Looks good as far as I can tell, says the robot. Okay, sorry chat, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jacqueline, you did it? Congrats. Oh, and it was meant to be. I mean, I do. Nice job. Good work. What do you think, Jacqueline? How do you feel about variant Sudoku? I love it. Oh, and it was meant to be. I only wish that I had started longer ago so that I would be better at it. It is interesting. So here's something I will say that I'm not good at, that I'm definitely not good at. And I'm okay at this with crosswords. okay with it. My friend Wenna, who now works for the New York Times setting crosswords, is amazing at it, where she can get into the mind of the crossword setter and kind of like, without even knowing what the clues are, she can kind of, or even say there's two clues that are crossing that she just does not know. Um, I would have a hard time with that, but she's like able to sort of like, I don't know, put her mind in the mind of the setter and be like, I think it's probably this, or it's probably going to end like this, or whatever, and she'll figure it out. Um, I think that, but a crossword, you can typically, it's an expectation you can enter it from anywhere. Sudoku, a well set variant Sudoku, generally, I think has one entry point or a handful of entry points. Maybe on really complex puzzles, you have to come from lots of places. But I always read in the comments of people that are good solvers about like, oh, that was a really nice solution path, or that was really nice flow, and I was able to just kind of like flow right through it. I have a hard time with that, and I sometimes brick wall on the flow. And because I don't have, because I lack self-confidence, when I hit that, it's my immediate thought is like, well, there's some, it's one of two things, and this is where I really get hung up. Either like I'm just, it's a hard logical problem and I need to be thinking about what the logic is, like, okay, what's the next logical step after I got this? Or there's some incredibly obvious Sudoku thing that just unfolded, and then that leads to the next logical step. So I don't know if I'm describing that well, but sometimes I think for someone who like some of these solvers, it seems like the Sudoku part of it is like second nature. Like they would never miss a pair, like they just wouldn't have never missed this 3-4 pair that I didn't initially see. But sometimes I just don't know. It's like, am I supposed to be thinking, that like with this palindrome, it was kind of like, am I supposed to be thinking really hard about this palindrome by itself? And then I saw like, oh no, there's an 8. And the placement of this 8 totally unlocked this palindrome. And I got the 8 from the 9, and I got the 9 from the 4, and I got the 4. So like there was a path that willpower had where you were supposed to solve something here, and you were supposed to get this 4, and you were supposed to get the 9s, and you were supposed to get the 8. And at that moment, in fact, I think I was late getting this 8. At that moment, you're supposed to be like, oh, I get it. There's 8 and 8 here, and there's 8 on here, and now let's do this palindrome. I just like missed I didn't know what the next step was, I mean, it's crazy to watch Simon. Yeah. So Simon not only has the second. There's I will say a funny thing about Simon, who I adore the videos. He has like at a base level, like total Sudoku fluency, I would say, up to like really complex things that are complex swordfish things, or sorry, complex Sudoku things, not variant things like a swordfish or a Y-wing, or things that you would consider advanced Sudoku. He spots that stuff quickly, but he's always so resistant to doing Sudoku because I think it's the least interesting part of the puzzle to him, which he says all the time, but it's funny to watch. And very quickly I realized like there'd be some extremely obvious Sudoku thing where I'm just like, how are you not seeing that? It's the simplest thing, because he's not even thinking at that simple level. I used to think like, oh, you're just missing the point. You're just missing this obvious thing. But I think that what is actually happening is he's on the trail. Like he's on the trail of the solution path, and whatever that little thing in the corner is may or may not be relevant. But anyway, I find that interesting sometimes where he misses something that seems obvious to me, and then I'm mad that he misses it. But very often it turns out that thing wasn't even the relevant thing. Like he wasn't worried about something that was going up on a pier because he was working on the palindrome or whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even see 3 in the corner. It is adorable when Simon. I almost feel a little weird streaming Sudoku because it's like I'm doing it almost as like I'm cosplaying as a Sudoku solver, or I'm like doing assignment imitation, and it's hard for me actually to not. Sometimes catch myself using his like. I definitely said oopsie during this. I haven't said oh bobbins, but I've definitely said oopsie. Okay, Draclin, I appreciate it. Draclin's out there for me. Okay, so we have to do a couple of important things. We need to go to Logic Masters Germany, which I can't. Logic Masters Willpower. I feel like Google will get me there more quickly. So I'm trying to. I should have kept this link open. Did I not do that? Would have been a wise thing to do. What even? I don't remember what this was called. What was the name of this one? This was like Martini Party or something. Where was it? Wine, Scotch, and Martini. Okay, so let's do the inscrutable, ridiculous way of submitting our solution, which is what? 5, 6, 7, 2, 8, 9, 1, 4, 3. In column 2, 5, 2, 3, 2, 3, 7, 4, 1, 8, 9. 8, 9, 6. I will say, one of the things that I think is interesting about the live streaming. Well, I know. I mean, they are like champion puzzle solvers. Like literally, they're on like puzzle. They have puzzle solving accolades. I think that puzzle, I'm not gonna say it's very easy, but I feel like I don't ever want to throw off the average for the people that are good. So I will call it easy. The question is, was it nice or was it very nice? I typically say nice. Did I think that one was very nice? I'm gonna actually not say very nice just because I'm mad at the red line. Sorry, Willpower. In fact, did anyone down here comment on it? Because sometimes he responds and then neat trick with the palindrome. Yeah, that was cool. I like that. It's funny that there were two ways to see it, and I saw it the most annoying way. So one thing I will say is I feel like I solved this in a Simon-like way, which was by refusing to do Sudoku and looking for logical deductions that were like more complicated than need be, right? I think that is a Simon hallmark, is like to look for the most complicated way you can make a deduction rather than just seeing that this was a 9. I think I'm okay with that. Is that all art has to have rules? Maybe background colors are okay, but that it's because it looks like a Renban almost. Okay. We just kind of plucked that out of thin air. I was just looking for something that was like a 1 and a 90. I'm nervous about trying a 2-star. I'm just looking for something that a lot of people have played. Maybe that's a 1-star because I can feel this was great. This one was really good. Oh, that probably makes more sense. I really only came here because I knew that I could search. Actually, I would say if you are trying to get a lot of practice and you want to know that you're only practicing on good puzzles that are approachable, you can go to the search and do an advanced search and show me the easiest puzzles that are really highly rated. So you know they're not easy and boring. They're interesting but they're approachable, I guess, is that configuration of the spectrum. So I've had pretty good luck with that, and I over and over kept finding willpower puzzles on it. I really enjoyed this one. I'll throw this in the chat if you want to take a look at it. But for the most part, I've definitely enjoyed all the willpower puzzles that I've done. Some more than others. So I see this called European Neighborhood. I love his compositions are so artful. Okay, normal Sudoku rules apply. Sorry, I should check if like anyone's trying to contact me while I'm deep in. Remember how the now I'm angry. I don't even think about it. Remember how everything broke on the previous stream? So Owen, I was like doing a work stream before this, working on a project, and then the stream started to die, and the thing I was working on wasn't working, and the audio was, this little audio amp was bad, and so I needed therapy Sudoku, and just happened to show up right when I did the therapy Sudoku. Okay, so I think this one looks really cool, but are the rules good? Let's see. Numbers on green lines, so those are Rinbands. Dark blue signs are a set. Numbers on dark blue lines are on a dark blue line are a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers in any order. So that is a Rinband. So these are like blue Rinbands. Numbers on a gray square are even. Numbers on a circle are odd. Numbers in cages sum to the number. After completing the puzzle, color all cells red. Then color all cells on green lines white, all cells on blue lines blue, all squares with yellow, all cells with squares yellow or orange, and all cells with circles black or gray. Oh, is this like celebrating somebody's admittance to the European Union or something? Or is it going to be the flags of the European Union or something like that? So that's cute. So, okay, I'm willing to give this one a shot. It has some very, like, there's some very obvious restrictions. I'm going to keep this open too, by the way. Okay, we're going to try this one. Yeah, I mean, aesthetic is very, that's his thing for sure. But it seems like you could color that before you started the puzzle. So it's not one of the ones where it's like, after you solve, color all the sixes purple or whatever. Okay, did I already put this over here? Sorry if I didn't. So I think I want to try this one. I don't think there's any unusual rules other than Rinbands are usually purple, right? Is that the only thing? So gray squares are evens. So I'll mark that because that's only 2 4s or 6. That's only 2 4 or 6. 2 4 or 6. These are funny Rinbands that just fully push fives. Just fully push fives out of here. I guess we get the polarity of this the Rinband. Well, we know the Rinband polarity immediately, I guess. I don't really want to do these. I mean, I guess we know this is a low odd digit. So it's not 5 7 9. I don't really want to do all of the. Okay, sorry. 2 4 6 8. Sorry. There is one more. Turns out there's one more. It turns out there's one more even digit. I have no excuse for that at all. Zero excuse. My brain had already moved on to low digits. Okay, that was very silly. Okay, so I am just unable to resist. I'm unable to resist. If there's a Rinband, in a puzzle, I just immediately, all I care about is polarity. It's all I care about. So we start with all the V's. And because we know the polarity here. Now I said, hey, don't forget, even if you start throwing tomatoes really intensely, then maybe I'll pay attention. Okay, I'm sorry. Just making sure you're paying attention. So, well, that's weird. Is that weird? That's almost weird. Huh. Okay, well, let's go, and then we'll talk about what's going on. So these are blue, and then that is going to make these orange, I think. And there's some implications over here, but I'm interested in this because that's all of our low digits, right? I think. So is that, sorry, that means this is not 2 or 4 because we've consumed 1, 2, 3, and 4, or just devoured. Okay, and the implications here. This is odd and it's low and it's on a V. So we have to sum to 5. So this can only be 4 or 2, I think. And then this is just the inverse of that, is we have to make a 5. So it's only 3 or 1. Okay. Other extremely low hanging fruit. I mean, it's pretty low hanging fruit, but that's what I said I was looking for. Was low hanging fruit. So this is the 5 rule. So we know we can't have double 9 here. So this is only 1, 2, 3, and we still have to sum to 5. So this is either it's 2, 3 with whatever orientation that is, but this can still be 4. So that's 2, 3, 4. That actually, we do get all the low digits are consumed here too. I don't know why I'm so surprised by that, but that. Okay, anyway, now that we have some things in cage, I really, I'm just not good at cages. I gotta tell you. This cage has at least a 6 in it. Like, we start to have problems here, actually, because if you minimize these, it's 1 plus 2 is 3. Well, actually, if those are minimized, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, that's fine. Do you want me to go in and fill in all the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, Strackman? Okay, sorry. So I'm just looking at cages to see if there's anything interesting going on. If you minimize these, this will be a 9. There may be nothing to this. Also, I will say one thing I definitely don't have is the intuitive look at a cage and know every combination. Some people definitely have that. I definitely do not. So, but it just feels like maybe there's something to this. I don't know. But if we minimize this, it's 1, 2. So that could be 9. If we maximize this, it's 3, 4. So that's 7. So that could be 5. So this is between. Well, that's useless. We already knew that. It says between 5 and 9. But guess what? It's actually between 6 and 9 because it's green. So I don't know. Maybe there's a conclusion to be made there. But I'm really bad at just looking at a cage that is like bigger than a 2 cells 6 cage or something, and knowing what's going on. It does seem like a 17 cage is a little hard to make with very low numbers. But it's not crazy hard. We have to make... So, I'm sorry, Draclin, which rule? The cage rule? Or which rule? There's like, this is kind of crazy looking. Okay. There's 3 rules stacked on top of each other here right now. There's actually 4 rules in this box. So the V means that these just have to sum to 5. So that's one of the rules, right? And one of the other rules is the green line, which is a German whisper, which means that that's the one where they have to be 5 apart. So we know the polarity alternates. We know there's not a 5 on it, and we know that it's hard for there. It's like, for example, it's hard for there to be a 6 here. So we can say this is 7, 8, or 9. I think it is okay for this to be a 9. So those things are all true. But we also know this cage is on top of this. So simultaneously, we know that the 3 of these digits have to sum to equal 12. And then totally separately from those rules is this, which is a Rinban, which just means there's 3 consecutive digits here, but you don't know anything else about them. Wait, I'm sorry. Why can't... I'm sorry, I'm just not exactly sure what you're asking. Why can't this be 6? Because remember, on a German whisper, numbers have to vary by 5. And 6 is only 5 away, because I know the polarity, these are low, from 1. And so if I try to put a 6 here, then I'm like, okay, what's 5 away from 6 is 1, and then I have to put another 1 here, and I just break Sudoku. So that's just a German whisper rule of thumb. The same thing applies going upwards with a 4, and that's why there couldn't be a 4 here. It's one of the reasons there can be a 4 here. Yeah, is like, and if I, for example, if I knew this was a 3, I would know this is not a 7, and so on and so forth. I don't know that I know there's definitely a 6 up here, because it could be 2, 4, 8. So I don't think I quite know that yet. But that wasn't bad thinking. Like, with a slight change to this, you could imagine a triple up here that was claiming your 6. But in this case, it was German whispers rules. So okay. So what does this mean? If I'm trying to make 12, is there anything important for me to know here? I don't think so. I'm trying to see if there's an option that is ruled out. Like, I could have 7 plus 1 and have 8, and that is equal to 4. I could have 7 plus 3 is 10, and have 2 to make that a 12. I could have 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 3. I could have 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 1. I could have 9 plus 1 plus 2. I can't have 9, 3, but it doesn't matter. So I don't, there may not actually be a restriction here. Maybe I was wrong. Or maybe we need a little more information to understand that restriction. It really looked promising, though. Am I sure there's not a restriction here? Like, if you can reduce the height of a high digit or the lowness of a low digit, you can put pressure on the digit next to it. But this can go all the way to 1, and this can go all the way to 9. So I just am not quite seeing it. We know there's a 1, 2, 3, or 4 on this, but that's not very useful. This is going to be, once we know the nature of this, it'll be very useful because it will eat up 4 digits of this cell. Or sorry, of this box. But I almost don't even see the use of these. Like, what these are going to disambiguate. These really might be purely aesthetic, honestly. These particular rim bands. Because once I know the 3 digits that are on them, what else can I know? Numbers on a dark blue line are a set of non-repeating consecutive. Oh, I'm sorry. No. That's not true. They are useful because they are consecutive. So that's kind of interesting because I know it's, in this case, I know it's not 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. I know it's not 1, 2, 3 because that would break this cell. Normally, rim bands are more useful when they're a little longer. So these short rim bands, I was thinking for a moment that they're not useful, but they are useful because they are sequential. So if we get 2 digits on it, we know that it limits some things. So anyway, sorry, I feel like this box is not even useful. Oh, and Chris is probably done with this puzzle 10 times over. Okay, we know something about coolnesses. What we don't necessarily know things about fivenesses yet. Like 5 is in there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where I think is the most fruitful place to look. This is tempting to look at because this is so low. So even if this was maximized, I have to make 14. But I think that's okay. Because you can have 9, 5, or you can have 6, 8. Can't have 2 7s. But if this is a 2, then this is a 15, then you can have a 7 and 8. So actually, I'm not sure. I have so little confidence with cages, I just don't even know if I know anything. I'm also not sure if that statement made any sense. This is going to be kind of a weird one because the minimum of this is column 5 on row 8 and 9. I think once I get the polarity, there will be, but until I know the polarity, sorry, my eyes just started to kind of burn. Until I know the polarity here. I mean, we could like brute force some stuff and be like, well, if this is, you know, whatever polarity this is, it's under immense pressure. It's the opposite polarity of the number around it. And we'll see every version. So kind of once we get the polarity down here, it's all going to unravel. But I think there is something up here. And that's only to say that we once again know this is not a 6. I think is correct to say. So this is a 7, 8, 9. But in this case, if we minimize these two and put only a 1 and a 2 in it, that totals to 3. We're going up to 11. So it also can't be a 9. I think that's correct to say. So that's a 7 or an 8. So now there suddenly is kind of some pressure here because these can no longer be 4. Because 4 has to be next to a 9. So I think those are only 1, 2, 3. And to be on a V with 1, 2, 3, you're 2, 3, 4. I'm sad I don't have a digit yet, but so it'd be cool if we had like something, if we knew anything. We know this digit doesn't start with 1, 2. Sorry, this rin band doesn't start with 1, 2, because then these would both be 3. I think it could start with 3 though. And then these would be a 1, 2 pair. Could it start with 3? That'd be a 1, 2 pair equals 3 goes up to 8. I think that's okay. So this, for example, could be 3, 4, 5. That doesn't really feel right. Oh, okay. I know the polarity of this. I've known that the whole time. There's only 4 low digits. I feel like we even talked about this column. we know the polarity of this little baby too. Okay, sorry. I feel like that's a thing I should have seen already. There's only 4 low digits. So this is not low and this is not low. So those are high. And that means these are going to pair with low digits. And so is this another case where there's like weird pressure? It doesn't feel that. Sorry, on row 2, on here, how did I rule out 2 and 4? Because 2 and 4 are low digits, and I already used all of my low digits because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. And I know that because of the V's, the 2 V's. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, I've already used those digits. So 2 and 4 are spoken for. Not allowed. It's actually basically the same logic I used to get these. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4 are spoken for, but they're on a rim band, so they're not 5. You can kind of see, actually, talking about this and what it can or can't be. If we do if we make this cool, then this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4 hot digits. At the moment, that seems okay. That means these are all cool. Well, cool or 5 without the 5 being here. We don't quite have, we almost have pressure on that being true. Because this is hot. So once again, we have 2 hots, and if this was, if we had a little more temperature going on, it would be helpful. Anyway, this is what we just got, and we for the 3rd time we can restrict this because it's in the middle. It's a German whisper. I think I keep saying Rinband when I mean German whisper. The Rinbands are these. They're normally purple. I think it is fair to say that this is not a 6 again. So that's a 7, 8, or a 9. Does that mean anything? A German whisper is a little bit different. I think there actually is a Dutch something, but I can't think of what it was called. I think a Dutch whisper is something like a German whisper, but it's 6 apart or something like that. I can't exactly remember. We have 3 of our lows here. Feels like, see, this is where the confidence thing is happening, where it's like, man, I think there's more. I think there's more low, or like more polarity. That's probably helpful. I don't know that we know anything here, because this is if I maximize this 9, then this has to add to 4, but that's fine. If I minimize this, then this has to add to 6, but that's also fine. It would be like 2, 4. Well, there's some pressure. I don't know. Sorry, Dutch whisper is 4 apart. Sorry. Yeah, maybe I've never heard a 6 of a 6 apart. I don't know. There's so many rule variations. What is this? It's warm or 5, I think. Though Terry Darts likes to mark these like this, like a little warm 5 pair. These are really all warm 5 pairs, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that's a little more visual noise than I need. Why did the music stop? We just not get to hear music anymore? Can you hear the music? Did I do the thing where I accidentally unplugged? Yes, I did. I did the thing where I just rolled over my headphone cable and unplugged it. So that's where the music went. I cut the music pipe. Yeah, it's me. It was all me. Okay. I feel like I haven't made any meaningful deductions in a while. These evenses are a little crazy. I have an extra problem now because I have this stupid long guy because I gave back the one that I modified. So I'm back to my dumb cable because I haven't done the mod yet, but it's also plugged into an extension. It's way too much. Yeah, I know. I need to like hang it from the ceiling or something. The slack is not bad, but I definitely have too much slack. Okay. I feel like I've like lost the Sudoku thread fully. I agree with you that it feels like there's something cool going on here. And like once we get the polarity here, all kinds of cool things are gonna happen. I will say I'm not very good at Rinban logic, or like things don't jump out to me very much. Like there's probably something that is sort of like forcing this into the middle or something like that. So for example, this is sequential, right? So we know that. And we've already said it can't have 1 and 2 on it. Right? It's not allowed to have 1 and 2. So the minimum number we can have here is like 3, 4, 5. But I think it can also have a 6. And I think it can also have a 7. But it couldn't have an 8. Or it couldn't have as much as an 8. Because if we take this 8 away, this 7 is here. And we just said this has to be sequential. So maybe that's worth pencil marking. We said it can't be 1, 2 because it breaks those. So it is at a minimum 3, 4, 5. But I think it can also be 4, 5, 6. Right? And I think it can also be 5, 6, 7. But we've capped it off at 8 because as soon as we put an 8 here, a 7's here, and the sequence is broken. So that's a little bit interesting in terms of the one other digit that we didn't speak about, which is a 9. Actually, that's interesting. Okay, that was meaningful. Draklin, I'm glad. You forced me to consider a Rinban when I really didn't want to. But I believe that forces the 9 up here because this breaks the sequence. And you couldn't come from the other way and be like, actually it's 987 because that breaks this cell. So I think what we have done is force the 9 up here, which Draklin, I don't know if you're catching on to like the pencil marking techniques, but if you know there's a 9 up here somewhere, but you don't know which cell, use a corner mark instead. That's called like a Schroeder mark. Okay, Owen is already done. This is heartbreaking. God, I need to just stop talking. I know. This is shocking me. Unbelievable. Okay, so this is these 9s up here. I'm bad at solving puzzles. I'm especially bad on stream, I will say. So no, he's done and finished. He finished the puzzle and now is setting a new one. Okay, what I'm trying to say, what I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes, is that now Draklin, we forced 9 up here. And so 9 is no longer allowed anywhere up here. And so I think that means that, actually we've kind of forced the 8 a little bit. Anyway, I think it means there's not a 9 here. And when we know there's not a 9 here, we know there's not a 4 here. So that becomes 1, 2, 3. That was like so much trouble. It's a German 9. That was like, I feel like that was a very heavy deduction for not very much payoff. That was like, really, that was a lot of thinking. Is this 9 is certain? I mean, you can double check. As far as the way I'm solving the puzzle, I believe the 9 is certain because if this was a 9, if there was a 9 on here, it'd be 987, it would break this. That doesn't mean I didn't make some other mistake. Very possible, if not probable. Unfortunately, I don't think that gives us anything else up here, at least at the moment. this 1, 2, 3 doesn't really do much for us. I was hoping we'd end up with like a bit more restriction than that. We do know the next cool digit is not here or here, but that we do need another cool digit. Well, okay, is this interesting? I don't think it is. I thought it was interesting for a second, but I don't think it is. Can we do that same logic here? I don't think so. Unless there's a restriction here that we didn't figure out. Like could this be a 1? I think so. Because this could be 1, 8, 3. Could this be a 2? I think so. Because it could be 1, 7. Sorry. 2, 7, 3. Could it be a 3? I think so. Could it be 3, 7? Oh, can that be a 4? 1. Could be a 4. Oh, it can't be a 4 because we got rid of the 6. It can't be a 4 because we got rid of the 6. Right? Because if you put a 4 here, 4 plus 7 already... No, that's not true at all. Oh my gosh. I was thinking we were in the 11 cage, but we're not. But you can. So actually, I was doing... All that math was wrong because I was thinking this was an 11. Sorry. So there's even more leeway here. Dracula, this is a very good sales technique. Not necessarily what I would call true. I'm sorry, I did that so wrong. It'd be 1 and 8 and 3. It would be like 2 and 9 and 1, or 3 and 8 and 1, or 4 and 7 and 1. So I don't think there's actually any restrictions there. I will say, I mean, this is my fault. It's not necessarily an excuse, but when I highlight a cell, sometimes I like lose sight of the corner marks. Okay. Is there anything that is known to be on this line? It's either 3, 4, 5 or 7, 6, 5 at the extremes. So there's definitely a 5 here. I don't know if that's worth marking. Oopsie. It's that song that comes on where it talks on the station that is explicitly supposed to have no talking. I should see if I can like thumbs down that song. That 5... I don't know. I'm gonna start pencil marking things because I'm a little stuck, honestly. That 5 puts 5 up here. There's none. You should never have to guess. There is something called a fog of war puzzle where you only are able to remove the fog by like making deductions and placing digits. You have to place digits to show the rest of the puzzle. And those can be really challenging because you don't get like far away context that you might get otherwise. But I don't think there's never any guessing unless you're just trying to brute force to see if something is wrong. I think people call that bifurcation. If you're like try to say like, if it's this way, what happens? And if it's this way, what happens? Sometimes you kind of do have to do that just to reason out a step or two. But you know, you don't want to like start solving. You don't want to say like, is this an 8 or a 9? I'm going to guess a 9 and see if the puzzle breaks this way. And if it does, I'm going to go back, you know. Anyway, we're talking about 5s. So we placed 5s. So that does put a 5. Puts 5s up here, which is sort of interesting for the odds. Oh, and congrats. Okay, well now you can be frustrated as I take forever to solve it. So we have 5s here and we have 5s here. So we have placed 5s. I'm glad you enjoyed it though. I really like the willpower puzzles. 5 is not here. And we've knocked 5 out of these odds. And we've knocked 1 and 3 out of these odds. You know, because normally these could be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But we're saying 5 is not in here because we think 5 is here or here. So we can take out 5. And then, actually, we don't know that much about this one. But in this case, because we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we were able to knock the low digits out of here, we can also knock low digits out of here and knock this 1, 3 out. So that does make this high, which is kind of, I mean, not that helpful because we already know the 5 is at this end. But it lets me color something. And anytime I can color something, it feels like progress. It also feels like we have to be getting kind of restricted on something over here. But maybe not. Wait, I'm sorry. The rim band. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the whispers? Okay, sorry. Let me think about those again. Oh, okay. That was maybe a little more explicit than I would like a hint to be, but I do appreciate it. You could have just like said, you know, think about those rim bands. But that is a very good point. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so that is it. Okay, but that's cool actually. Like that is that's what I like about these willpower puzzles, because I feel like it is a place where like new rule sets emerge because of overlapping. So, which now when you think about it, like there's obviously a reason he thought this was a cool thing to do. And that's the thing I feel like that, you know, Simon, for example, keeps mentioning that, but like spots those, like if there's something unusual, it's like, oh, there's something about this, right? Like there's a reason to put a cage around a rim band because there's two ways to look at it. Either it's because like, oh, there will just happen to be a restriction that emerges, or there's just some fundamental interesting property. And so what Chris is pointing out is there is a fundamental interesting property about rim bands in, or at least on these short, these like cool. I keep saying rim band too now. Sorry, German whispers. There's just a fundamental rule about these that is really interesting. And I think I would have had to like bang my head against this for a while because I was definitely just looking for low-hanging fruit, obviously. I was thinking that parity was where it was going to be. Okay, so the implication is, which I should have seen, is that if this is a 7, and I've said this 45 times explaining German whispers to Drachlin, these couldn't be 3. Which makes these a 1-2 pair, which is only 3. So the 7-ness of this enforces its own downfall. And so it's actually surprising that that's gonna like fall apart in multiple places simultaneously. So that is cool. So that is a like weirdly interesting property of that particular configuration of a whisper. Sorry, I keep saying whisper. Okay, Drachlin, good luck. Good night. Thank you for hanging out. I've missed you. I appreciate it. Okay, I will try to actually focus on this puzzle now. Okay, so the conclusion there, which is a cool conclusion, is that it seems like no matter what is going on with anything else, the 7 is not a possibility here, which is going to unfold like more things than I had anticipated simultaneously. So that is cool. So that instantly gives us an 8, and that gives us an 8 and an 8. So those will be the first digits. I feel like I didn't earn these, so I'll try to earn other logic. we have seemed to have said that this is now the 6 of the evenness, and Draclin was asking about ruling out a 6 here, but we already have done that. So that's a 6. So this is, and now just a 2-4 because of the 8 being in view. 6, 8. That 6 comes out as well. I don't know if I feel like that's very exciting. I mean, it's exciting for me because it makes that low, and that is low digits are exciting. Okay, but over here, if we're aiming for 13, what does that mean? Basically, it means we have to make a 5, right? Now I'm getting tired to the point that I'm worried I'm going to start making really simple arithmetic errors. I have to stop streaming soon because it's getting late as well. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me. Okay. So 8 to 13 is 5, and we know that it's hard to make a 5, kind of. 2, 3 will do it, but with a 1 you do need a 4. And we've already ruled out the 4 because we already knew this wasn't a 9. Because of this 9, which we did just get relatively recently, maybe, so maybe that wasn't all for naught, or maybe it was, I don't know. So what did I just say? We're taking off the 1, so we get a 2, 3 pair here, which is going to eat this 2. So we do just get a 4 over here, which is going to eat the 4s from there. We get, is that interesting? It kind of is, because that's going to eat this 1. We didn't even look at this gauge yet, but it's going to eat this 1. And we know the 1 is eaten already, actually, because of the 4. So that's just a second way to arrive at the lack of oneness in there. Oh no, I've broken something. What did I break? What did I break? Oh man, I broke the puzzle. What was my mistake? We took out the 7s, which felt right. We made those both 8s. We took it, and we made that a 6. We took out the 6. Wait, am I, what? Sorry, am I missing? I thought I just ended up with two 3s. Well, maybe I didn't. 6. We saw a 2, 4 pair here. No, I'm sorry. There wasn't a pair. We just took this out because we don't have a 4 there. We took the 1s out because we, oh, I'm sorry. Of course, that doesn't apply here. I see. I don't know why. In my mind, I had that was also a 13 cage. That's an 11 cage. Sorry. It was wrong to take this 1 away. Okay, I'm definitely getting tired at this point. This 2, 3 pair did do that. That does remove those 4s. This was my incorrect conclusion. It's not the same as this, of course. The cage is different. The 1 does come out of one side of it. So, we're essentially required to have a 1 here. If you minimize all of this, this is 3 and 8. So that was just that's just me being silly. Sometimes I have to do that, is like make a dumb mistake. At least I saw that one very fast, and then you just back up and see it. So I had just mistakenly removed that 1, but then very quickly saw like, oh, well, that's not true. You can even, without even thinking about this total, you can look at this and see, oh, it's a 2, 3 pair there. So 2, 3 comes out of here. So there's 2 ways to arrive at that. You can arrive at it this way, where you get the 9 and need a 2. But either way, you'll end up with a 2 here. So I was just being bad at Sudoku. My classic move is to delete the digit that I mean to leave. Signature move. That kind of sadly didn't do anything down here. It sort of bums me out. No, I appreciate it. Feel and remember, okay, I'm not. Maybe you're not on mobile. If you're not on mobile, anybody on desktop, you can't just throw tomatoes at the screen by clicking the video. One day we will make. We will work more on heat and find a way to monetize it. Probably would be a good idea. So in odd land, we have now eliminated 3, which does make this one slightly more interesting, but I don't. Well, because it's not 5 or 9 or 3, so maybe that is worth pencil marking. But I do see down here that we have a. Let's just mark some stuff, because that's going to have implications. We lose the 2, we lose the 8, we lose the 3 here. This now is under a bit more pressure. I think it can still be 1. It can now not be 3. It can be 5, and I kind of want it to be a 5. It can still be 7, and it can still be 9. So that wasn't the most exciting, but is there something here that is interesting though? Like this digit? What is going on here? Is there some like extraordinarily obvious thing about this digit? Like how it can't be 1 or 3? I guess I'm just gonna mark it. Maybe there's actually no pressure on it, but it looks so suspicious. 3, 4. It can't be 5, I think. It can't be 6. I think it can be 7. It can be 8. Yeah, this was a boring digit. This was a mistake. I knew it, and now we just have said it for the world, I guess. Is this the digit that's now that I've pencil marked this whole box for no reason? Is this the exciting? I mean, we've pushed 2 down here and out of here. And I don't know. That doesn't seem like exactly the place to look. Anyway, this seems like not a bad place to look. So if we minimize this, it's a 2. But it actually can still be 3, 1, and 8. And it can be 3, 1, and 9. It just can't be a 4. But it already couldn't be a 4. That's weird, because that seems like a thing I would normally pencil mark. But maybe I guess we just learned that. But what did I just say? I said it could be a 2 or 3. And it's obviously not a 1. So it's either 1, 9, 2 or 1, 8, 3. Is that a fair statement? Either way, that puts pressure on this, right? So this can be as high as 8. I mean, so we know it's not like secretly. I don't even know what I think it would secretly be. I guess it could be as low as 3. No, it couldn't, because then it would hit the 4. So it's not below 4. It's not 1, 2, 3, and it doesn't include the 4, obviously. So it's 5, 6, 7, or 8. Oops. 5, 6, 7, or 8. Is that? Because that could still be 9. I feel like there's a reason that I should know more about this, but I don't see it right this second. I mean, that it's weird, like the implications of what goes up here are now limited, because it's either 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, it's either 5, 6, 7. It's either 5, 6, 7 or 8, 7, 6. So 6 and 7 are consumed here. So there's it's like a 6-7 thing going on up here. So these are not 6 and 7. I don't know if I care. I mean, I kind of care because it's what I'm looking at. So it's not, I don't know if this is worth it, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is where I'm like, this is that classic example of me being like, am I supposed to be doing like Sudoku things here? Or is there just some like really obvious thing in front of my face? There's probably some really obvious thing in front of my face, but this is just like what my brain has latched onto. So it can't be a 1. I think it can be still be a 2 or a 3. It can't be a 4, but I think it can be a 5, but it can't be a 6 or a 7. Can it be an 8 up here? That'd be a mistake. Like, not 4, so it's 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 6, 7, 8. Good grief. It's not 7, 8, 9 because that would not allow for anything in here. This is the 2, 3. It's just whatever isn't there. And then so I'm trying to pick the number that can dangle here, and I think it can still be 8. So this was a meaningless endeavor, I think, is what we can conclude. Is that not that is not the thing I am supposed to be thinking about. And this is where I have to do the thing where it's like, okay, once you take a couple steps back to when there was a meaningful deduction, which is what I was maybe thinking I was doing by like being like, okay, like what's the pressure here? But two, three. Oh, well, there's a 3 here. This 3 is spoken for. This 3 is spoken for. So actually that lets us pull it. Sorry, it lets us force 3 on here. Right? Doesn't that forced 3 onto this line? Because 3 is in this pair and 3 is here. So I forced 3 onto this line. And that was the low end of the line. So that's handy because that makes this 3, 4, 5. We already knew there was a 5 down there. The 4 is implicit. I mean, there's lots of ways to see that, I guess. So the 6 and the 7 can come off of here. And that does make this, that's 3, 4, 5. And this is going to be 6, 7, 9. I think. And these will all be very warm. I want to remove these corner marks. These are all nice, toasty, warm digits. So we've used our full allotment of warmness. I think. But we haven't used our full allotment of lowness. Anyway, so that takes 7 and 9 off there. So that's, I mean, this is all spoken for. So it only leaves 1, 5. And this 1 is seen here. So that's a 5 and that's a 1. That's going to remove the 1 here and make this a 7, 9 pair. But does anyone care about that? Yeah. Did I break the puzzle? No, I don't think I did. I get so nervous about stuff like that where it's like, oh no, have I made it? This is like a catastrophic error. It pulls 7 off here, but that just is going to force 7 over here. So at least at the moment, I don't know that I have catastrophically destroyed the puzzle. Or if I have, that wasn't the place where it happened. So what did I take off? I took 5 off of that end. Actually, okay, let me do this one at a time. we take 7 off of this. But this, I still don't know that it's quite resolved. Maybe it is, and I just need to stare at it a little more. But I was trying to see like, oh, did we like somehow now untangle the nature of this? But I don't think we did. I don't know. Anyway, what I do know, that's a high number. And that's a green number. And that's a low number. And we have a 7-9 pair that is taking 7 and 9 out of here. So we get a 2-8 pair. And that seems fine because somebody told me once that that was a, excuse me, that was an even number, and I believed them. So we have this 2-8 pair and we have this 3-4-5. That just makes me want to do stuff here. It's probably not the thing to do, but it just makes me want to. I'm gonna. So I think it can be a 1, but it's not a 2, it's not a 3, it's not a 4, it's not a 5. It could be a 6, could be a 7. It's not an 8. It could be a 9. So that was useless, but I feel better. Somehow. Probably more fruitful would have been this, because I already know this is a 5 and this is a 5, 7, 9. Yeah, it's not, I don't know. I have this like compulsion to do this when there's probably just like this. It's like, this is the thing where it's like, I'm having like, oh, am I missing Sudoku stuff? But probably willpower probably has bigger plans for me in this life. Like the fact that there's not a 4 on this probably should have made me think a long time ago. Yeah, okay. I think there's a conclusion here that is there's not a 4 on this. But it's 4 digits. Okay, I'm going to talk through this. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but there's not a 4 here. So if it's low, the only way, if these are all low, okay, what am I trying to say? This is a 4-digit Ren band, so it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, but the 4 is not here. Like it couldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's definitely a low digit right here, right? So I'm proposing that if this is a low digit that doesn't put a 4 here, it is a 4. Right? Like what else could it be? There's a sequential run here. This is a low digit. Like 1, 2, 3. Oops, it's a 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Like, but this is low. So I think that, I think it's low. Yeah, it's on a B. So this was probably been available for a really long time. But I think that means this is a 4 and this is a 1, which I had hoped would do something over here. I guess it does some stuff down here. Well, it's funny. It just makes that the true 3 variant of a 5, which probably has implications for the 17 cage that I never want to look at because somehow, I don't know. Somehow certain cages just rub me the wrong way. 17 cage. Okay, but wait, that's handy. That is handy, right? Because that gives us we do get a 2-3 pair. That is, wow, is impressively useless because we already have a 2-3 pair up there. And there's nothing cool here. And there's no more cools in this column. So that's like an impressively useless. Great. Okay. Also, this is not this is still not 4, 3, 2, 1. Because there's a 1 here. And it's not 4, 3. It's not like 5, 4, 3, 2. Because that eats 3 cool digits, and there's another cool digit here. It could be 6, 5, 4, 3, though. So I think this is as low as a 3 and as high as 4, 5, 6, 7. As low as a 3 and as high as a 7. So the other way to say that is I don't think this can start lower than 3. Or like, because if it's 2, 3, 4, like if this is 2, 3, we have too many low digits. It could be 3, 4, 5, 6. This could be, so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think it is 3, 4, not 4 obviously, 5, 6, but also could be a 7. And that either way, the 5, 6 is 5 and 6 are here. So there's like some magical, right? Because we said 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6 is in both. So we do have like some magical invisible like 5, 6 over here that sees this. Was all that worth it? I don't know. Was it all worth this single remove this 6 pencil mark? Maybe not. It does mean 5 is over here. I'm trying to think of that, if I care about this or how much I care about this. Because there's a few things I know is like what is available to be low here. There's some, I've tried like 4 different entry points into this box, and I don't know that any of them is that useful. I'm sorry, Owen. I don't mean to be rude. I'm trying to do it without hints that are too explicit, but I know that's a really fine line to walk. You know, and I don't have a perfect definition for that. Maybe it'll develop over time, where it's like, I don't mind a tomato thrown to say like, hey, you should probably like wherever, like, hey, you're not paying attention over here. But I do, there's something going on here. So I'm going to follow this through. I could have looked at this 40 hours ago, probably. Or after I got this 4. Anyway, this is a 2 or a 3. We have said. And so what does that mean for this? That means for this that it is not a 6 and it's not an 8. So this is a 7 or a 9. I like making these things are just not. It feels like a while since I've made deductions that have had implications. I guess this 4, I think that was useful. That felt like probably a thing I was supposed to be looking at, right? And it feels like that should like put pressure over here. But maybe it doesn't. And I'm like, now I'm just feeling like, oh man, I have to look down this dumb 17 cage. I don't want to. I don't want to. I guess it means this is really a 14 or 15 cage. It just doesn't quite feel to me like I have all the information I want there. I also really want to get the polarity of this. I feel like that would be a cool thing to do. I also have that like continual feeling of like I'm just missing obvious Sudoku. And I just don't know how like, you know, I can see there's a 1 on this rim band, but not a 4, and like but does that matter? There's also a 1 on this one, but who cares? Anything about 2s. No, next to nothing about 3s. No tiny bit about 4s. Oh, well, that does put a 4 on this. But we once... we put a 4 on this. Do I care? There's not a 1 on it, but it still could be 2, 3, 4. It'd be cool to like push a 5 somewhere. Like this 5. No 5's not here. Oh, there already is a 5 on it. How have I not seen these things? Oh my gosh. Okay. God. I have no excuse other than maybe tiredness. We know there's this 5 is here. There's never a 5 on a rim band. And so this is a 4-5 sequence. So it's either 3-4-5 or 4-5-6, right? Because we push the 5 over here. 3-4-5, which at the moment seems legal, or 4-5-6, which at the moment seems legal. Maybe not even worth much more to me, but definitely 3-4-5 or 4-5-6. So that we've definitely consumed 4 and 5. So there's like some invisible 4-5 pair hiding in here. So we can take the 5s out of here. These were terrible pencil marks anyway. But we can take the 5s out of there. So that does squeeze the 5s in there. Anyway. This rim band does not have a 4 on it, and it does not have a 6 on it. It definitely does have a 1 on it. I don't know anything about the polarity. I know this is warm or 5. I know it's not cool. This is definitely not cool. That's warm or 5. That's useless. And that could be either way. I'm trying to decide if there's a way for me to determine how many, like, determining the polarity of this, I feel like would help me in my life, in my endeavors. Okay, what super obvious pair am I missing? That seems like a thing I'm probably doing. Or like like a V clue and I'm just missing it. 5 is like almost cool. Here, I don't think it's cool enough. Anything else about this other than it's just that it's not 4 or 6, which I feel like is not the most useful information in the world. I guess I know this is not. Really feels like I just don't know very much. I mean, we know the 4-5 here. I don't know. Maybe now I'm crushed with self-doubt. These are odds, right? But they don't seem very cool. So we got this rim band and that felt okay. We at least pushed some stuff on here and that felt okay-ish. We eliminated there's almost is there an evens quadruple here? Is there an evens quadruple? An evens quadruple? I feel like I must have made a mistake because that seems so silly. Okay, but that's the last thing I did, right? That's the last meaningful thing I did was knock 5 off of this. So if that is is that a 2, 4, 6, 8 quadruple? So that is all of the even numbers in this row. That is so... I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. There was a reason to put... I guess I had decided these... I decided these evens were decorative. Is what I had decided. So that would seem to not be an 8, and that would seem to not be a 6 or an 8, and that would seem to not be a 6. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's going to help do anything. It's at least doing something. Was that the whole thing? Was that what I've been missing? Probably not. It'd be kind of funny if that was the whole puzzle was hinging on that. What an embarrassment. That 3-8. That 3-8 does take that 8. The evens. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're still watching, Chris Owen. I'm afraid to look over there because they're going to be yelling at me. Wait, Owen, Chris. That's weird. I had a really... Have you ever heard of Chris Owens? I just called you Chris Owens and then realized, like, oh, that is a name from my past. We seem to be left with a 9 over here. I hate this. This box is a crime. It's time to unravel this crime, hopefully. So we have taken 7 off this. I'm sure there were smoother ways to get here. The 5, 6, but nobody cares. Okay, we have removed 6 from this. So this is just 3, 4, 5. I think. So that's good news for everyone. That does mean, well, not that much, because 3, 4, 5 are here, and then just push the 1 over. So has that done anything else cool other than just push the 6 over here? Oops. I still feel like I have not gotten the thing I truly want, which is polarity up here. Okay, I'm going to think about polarity for a minute. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I am going to think about it for a minute, because that's really, I want to get down here. It's, for some reason my brain just does not want to think about this 17 page. My brain hates it. Doesn't want to deal with it. So what, we got this, that helped say this is 2, 4, 8. I'm sure there's some like really easy Sudoku, like in this box, as an example of a place that you might think, oh, probably put 8 in this box, probably. Goodness. I can't even make things the right color. I think I'm just getting really tired. Okay. So that is gonna do some good over here. Finally, this is this 2. Finally put this cage to rest. Gosh, I keep thinking there's gonna be more substantial implications for certain things, and then like, I don't know, I think like, oh yeah, we got this cage, now we're all good, but it's not the case. So I have to ask, okay, this jerk is still haunting me. Okay, we did get that. We just have this, the 5, 6 pair here. What is this? 6, 5, and 9, but who cares? I guess that makes it warmish. I don't know who cares about that, but it's not me. Okay, there's no like. What's missing here? 5, 6, and. Oh, well, okay. So 5, 6, and 9 are what's missing in this row, but somebody told me these are odd digits. So it's not a 6. So this is 1, and this is a 5. These pairs, just haunted by them. That does give us another, well, a neutral. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry for ignoring you. But I just want to keep my eyes on the prize, So that is all of our cools. No, it isn't. Oh my gosh. Did you see me just like pencil? I was about to do the whole puzzle wrong because I just made, I made a color incorrect. I was going to be like, obviously implications down here because I've used all my cools. I had not. Dear reader, I had not used my cools. Okay. We got this whole box and we don't know anything about this. I think we know a lot about this actually. We must. Because those even digits aren't there. Okay, what can this be? Not ones, not twos, threes, not fours, not fives, sixes, and sevens are only options, and none of them are untangled. But you know what? Doesn't matter. This is a low digit. That's what matters here. It's pretty weird that you can have that much clarity on a box that is so much looking at it and just still, well, I mean, the rim bands gave us a lot of that. I know I can feel it. I can somehow feel like I'm supposed to be looking at this, and I just don't want to. I just don't want to. Okay. What are some things we know? This is only a 6 or a 7. It's probably hard to do this even now at this point. I mean, hard. There's probably pretty limited options. If I would just take a moment to think about them, I just refuse to. And it's not a 6, so this just is a 7 because there's not a 1 here. Okay, I probably should have looked at this a long time ago. I mean, clearly I should have, but I don't know. I feel like I've been making, at least once I got the whatever nonsense I did over here, the evens, the attack of the evens. I feel like I've been doing relatively steady progress. Maybe you would not agree, but I feel like I've been on the move for a little bit at least. What's missing here? 4-6 pair. What's missing here? I refuse to think about this box. I guess I could include this in the assessment of, well, I'll just do it and take them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 8, 9, and this is not a 1. So there's a little latitude in there still, right? Because this could be 7, no. But this is 7, okay, maybe there's no latitude. If this is 7 plus 3, that is 10, and we have problems. So this is the 2, and this is the 3. And this is 7, 2 is 9, the 8. So, okay. I know I should have looked at that 4 hours ago. This now would appear to sum to 17. This appears to sum to 5. We still somehow not know. Okay. We did take 3 out of here. 5. Oops. No, we didn't do that. What did we do? We took 3 out of here. We took 5 out of here. Oh gosh, there's been a 3 here my entire life. There's a 3 down here. I feel like I've known that for some time. I mean, I figured out stuff without it, but hey, there's probably, I'm sure there's so many things like that I just, we've known that for quite a while. We really have. Okay. I can't believe I'm having this. Wow, gosh. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, I guess. I don't know why this particular puzzle is just kicking me in the pants. We know what's here almost. It's 1, 2, 8, and what? 7? Is that right? 287, I think, is right. And this is 287. Gosh, do you think there's a reason this 287 is just looking right over here? It's just like staring right over here. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. I should have thought of that. I was looking for parody, not just like straight up, oh, by the way. Okay. So we get the 1. We get the parody. We get the warm boys. We remove the 1s and 2s. We get a 7-8 pair. Oops. 2, 8. See, I'm falling apart now because I haven't been doing my colors. That's my excuse. Okay, at long last. At long last, we get the parody of this, right? Because there's a 1 forced to be there, but it's not in the middle. I've been waiting so long. And the thing about this digit is it's a high digit that has to see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that just is 9. And that's 1. And that's probably a 9. That's probably a 1. It's a 5. I think, right? 5. Oops. That's a 9. I knocked 9 out of both of those? How about that? That's a 9. These are not 9s. That's not a 5. These persist in being problematic people. Sorry, it's not purely aesthetic. It does make me scan a little faster, even though I'm good. So slow at this puzzle. Okay, what can we say? We say there's not a 2 here. There's not a 1 here. So this is a 3-4 pair. Or I'm going to say that. That does mean this is the 2. So this is the 4. And this is the 8. And this is the 2. And this is the 3. And then we get a 4 or 5 pair. For free. We get a 3. For free. We get the remainder of the hot digits. Which we really don't know that much about. Well, remainder of the hot digits and 5, I should say. So 5 is still sneaking around like a weirdo and could cause problems. So these are 5, 6, 7, and 8. This obviously isn't a 5 element because it's not an X, but there's other reasons. So this is not a 5, 4, and 8. I almost looked at this just now like I was supposed to multiply this. That's not what X means. That's 5, that's 8. That's not an 8. Oops. I'm highlighting things. Okay, it's definitely like lower your voice time. Got a 6, 7 pair. That's gonna give us 8. That's an ASMR stream because I don't disturb my neighbors after 10. Okay, 6, 7 pair is going to knock the 7 out of here. Force that to be an 8. That's now a 7. 6, 7 pair also will knock the 6 out of here. So that's a 4. That's a 6. That reduces this to be, this is indeed the 5. Should I stream like this always? This is 8. That's 6. Let's do a little coloring. Help with our scanning. Maybe I should do like pure synesthesia puzzles where every digit has its own color. Okay, that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 5. Finally, that seems to be a 6. If we can trust our pencil marks. And I do. That would appear to make this a 9. That would appear to make this... See, these aren't colored, so I have a hard time seeing that it's a 2, although I should see it from the box. That's a 2. That is 4, that's 5, that's 3. It took me an hour and a half to do this puzzle. What is this weird pattern we have? That pushes the 3 here. Does it? It pushes the 3 here. Oh. Wait, I have a mistake. Oh my gosh. I have a fun mistake. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me try to figure out where the mistake was. That's unfortunate. Definitely should have seen that sooner. Right? Because I've just said... No, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I think I'm still okay. I think I'm okay. I'm really getting tired. I had in my mind that I had just eliminated 6 from here, but I did not. I, in fact, forced 6 to be here. For once in my life, I thought I made a mistake, and I didn't. Like an inverse mistake. Okay. I want to just highlight colors. Okay, Owen, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. There's just him staring in my face. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do have a Discord. He was not telling the truth about it being a... does the robot work? Discord. Okay. I have a Discord. We made it. There's a Sudoku channel. And Terry Darch is in there doing Sudoku, and I'm in there doing Sudoku. Draclin was misleading in saying that it was a Sudoku-focused Discord, but it would certainly be a pleasure to have you. The thing I normally do is make things, but all I want to do lately is play Sudoku. Okay, I don't know. Should I be embarrassed? There was some, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a good example of that point where my own confidence, where my confidence wavers because I can't decide if, like, am I not seeing it the next step because it's a hard logical deduction, or am I not seeing the next step because it is a very simple Sudoku problem? And I just get hung up on that. And my instinct when I do that is to like kind of panic and be like, oh no, I think it's a Sudoku problem. And then I start pencil marking. And then after 5 minutes of pencil marking, I'm like, okay, clearly the constructor did not intend me to just pencil mark for 5 minutes straight. So I'm just missing what the next fun deduction is, because I think willpower wants you to have fun. Okay. I wonder if there's anything that I resolved in a different way than you. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. I definitely appreciate like the hints of encouragement. I think I'm just trying to find like what I feel, because I can definitely know. I know from watching Simon, there's moments where it's just like, oh my gosh, can you just see this? If you could just see this. And I've even thought about, so I didn't really describe it, but I'm the author of Heat, which is like an extension for Twitch that lets you just do stuff on stream with by user interaction with the stream. So you can like click and do like a heat map or whatever. And so I've thought about it with Simon. It's like, well, Simon would never want like an outright hint or like someone to tell him what to do, obviously, right? But I wonder if he would like it if somebody was just like, oh, could you just like look over in this region of the puzzle or something. And so I feel like with where I am now, I'm okay with someone saying like, hey, can you just look over here? Like there's something to be done if you just look over here. I'm okay with. Anything more specific than that, I start to feel like, oh no, I'm like relying too much on chat. Is that true? Ben, what are you gonna do? Also, Ben, where did you come from? Ben wants to. We didn't actually check this. Okay, I'm gonna do the thing because I feel better if I do it. Is to make sure the math works. Because I would be devastated to like find I missed some trivial. That's 3, 4, 5. That seems okay. That seems okay. That appears to be a sequence. That's a good distance. It appears to be a sequence. I almost scared myself because I was like, okay, sequence. No, not a sequence. I love this rim band cross. What's funny is like this rim band cross is so, as soon as you know the parody, it kind of just like crumbles apart. But I think he did a really good job of ensuring that you could not know the parody until pretty late in the puzzle. Like this puzzle really did kind of like trickle down, which was cool. I like it. I'm gonna say this puzzle was very nice. It's interesting because when I first started this puzzle, that was I always look at like V's first because I'm looking for parody. But other than that, I was like, oh man, like that just looks easy. But it turns out to not be easy. I guess you could have like done some crazy pencil marking where you pencil marked both possibilities. So Ben, I would say the trickiest thing with heat. Have you been streaming? Are you streaming behind my back, Ben? In my experience so far, the trickiest thing with gamifying heat is latency. So like whatever you're doing requires like a window. We're actually, I'll put it this way. There has to be some fuzziness, right? And that fuzziness can either be in time, like there's a window that's fuzzy and like input in that time is what matters, or there's fuzziness in that like there's some kind of like democratic, slow moving thing that is happening that is fuzzy because different people are contributing in different ways, but it averages out to something. Like I'd had, like on that one Twitch thing, I think I had one of the modes I had of the sequencer was like democracy mode, where individual people weren't able to click things, but there was just a little window. And when a bunch of people clicked, it would just say like, where did most people click in that window? But I will say, I would be interested to see what you come up with, because I don't feel like I've come up with a great game. I've just been making silly things. Voting, I think it's good for. I think I could actually see, not that I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with me in Sudoku. I may just like quit my job in my life and just play Sudoku on the streets. But I think as far as like a heat map of chat kind of like giving you a hint of where to look, Sudoku's pretty good for that. Of like, because it doesn't quite have enough specificity, at least, you know, if I'm just doing like a heat map or marker. It's good to move the stream along. Like if I'm stuck and it's like I just don't know what to look at. I'm just floundering here. Excuse me. Like some of the streams over the weekend, people would like throw tomatoes in an area, and I'd be like, okay, let me look at that area, and then I would come up with the logic, but at least I wasn't like down in a corner when people were like, oh my gosh, you're missing something so obvious. That's just a silly oversight. Let's actually check the puzzle. What will I do if it's wrong? Okay, it looks good. Okay. Cool. I enjoyed that. I liked it. Oh, I don't really want to go back and do the flag coloring. I don't want like an after thought, but I did like it. I like the willpower puzzles. Now I have this weird part of me is like, okay, I need to do another puzzle to redeem myself because that one took an hour and a half. Well, I talked a lot, but it took me like an hour and a half. But I also feel like, oh, I think I am very tired, and if I started another puzzle, it would take like 4.5 hours or something. Okay, row 9 and column 9. 4, 7, 2, 5, 1, 8, 9, 3, 6, and column line 3, 5, 1, 2, 8, 9, 4, 7, 6. I think that puzzle was, I'm going to say easy, but I don't really believe it. Was it nice or was it very nice? I think it was very nice. I think there was a really interesting interplay of rules. It was very nice. Wait, I'm sorry, which one? Oh, no. If you mean like the colored according to the rules? Yeah, feel free, because that's not really related. Is that really related to the solution, right? Sorry. Okay, sorry, excuse me. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Because I want to see it, but I didn't. Oh, and thanks for joining the Discord. I appreciate that. I mean, we really have just started the Sudoku channel. Oh, that's cool. So it does just kind of create a nice little set of various European flags. Cute. So, I mean, I don't know. This is way too critical because, of course, this is like a charming, nice thing. But, like, part of me is like, I wish it was like that based on the results of the puzzle and not on just the base on the clues. But that's still really neat. Oh, what is the difference between box 2 and 4? Oh, you're right. I didn't notice that they seem to repeat. Didn't he say something where there was like an or? Well, that is weird. Yeah, I don't quite see the distinction between those either. Okay, maybe that's a silly. Did anyone comment on that? Oh, I see. So there's like two subtle differences in the coloring of the blue between Luxembourg and the Netherlands. And he just didn't want the Luxembourg flag and the Netherlands flag. I didn't know that. So okay, that's our answer. But I was completely unaware of that. I'm not sure I've ever seen the Luxembourg flag. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up. And I thank you so much for joining me. Even though I'm mad at this thing, the whole point of today was this. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Was to use this new little audio hat that I'm now angry with. Wait, I must have gotten angry. I even took down the desk cam. So here's the problem with this project so far: is every solution is either pick another option or just keep spending more money on trying to make your solution viable. And so I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I mean, my inclination is to be like, well, now I've like addressed the audio problems and it still sounds bad. So is it speakers? The problem, oh boy. I mean, what do we do? Sorry, I'm awaiting a message, but I think it may not come. So, like, I don't even like these speakers. They're 4 ohm, 3 watt. People seem relatively happy with them, but I just don't know. Like, am I gonna be happy with them? Oh, sorry, someone knocked on the wall. Okay, so I definitely need to be quiet now. Okay, I'm gonna switch off. So, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.